He was inspirational. He was very good.
Mike Scott is back.
That's
and
me.
You better have a gift for me.
What? What do you want?
I want the appendix on. No. Wait, listen. I've got
gone.
No, on a necklace, on my charm bracelet.
Oh.
Or the necklace charm. So.
No.
What do you mean?
It's gone.
You didn't get to keep your body part.
No, did not get to keep.
Don't you always wonder? Well, why can't I have my body part? It's mine.
That's a good question.
No, it's health reasons. That's why they don't.
I
hand
assume
out
so.
body
I
parts.
have no interest in.
But how are you feeling? So many people asked us at
Yeah.
Freedom Summit if you're doing well, and I said he'll be back on Monday. So thank goodness you're here. Tell us what happened. Because last time I saw you, you were getting sick in your newsroom, which is not a good sight. When you're doubled over on a chair and your face looked green.
Well, first, credit to my wife for running all the way out here and loving me enough to rush me to the closest hospital, not the furthest one away, because that would have been easier on the insurance. But Alexian Brothers was awesome. They here in Elk Grove Village, they took care of beginning, middle to end. The nurses were great. The surgeon, Dr. Gusky, was fabulous. At 10 o'clock at night, Monday, I was in surgery. So they put
how long did it take
wheels
for
to
them
the grease.
Figure out that did your appendix rupture?
It did
or was
not
it
rupture.
Leaking?
No, perhaps a little leaky, but it did not rupture. There were no perforations. But they found out it was in the ER. So I gone through initial triage. A doctor came in, not the surgeon, and she felt on my right-hand side, and she's like, "Oh, that's an appendix," and I'm like, "That's an appendix? Are you serious?" The nurses thought it was a kidney, maybe a gallstone at first. So they did a CT scan, and they confirmed it was the appendix. Got admitted to the hospital later in the day afternoon, and then just the clock started ticking for surgery, and they were afraid that of any further complications. So surgeon came about 9:30, went pre-op about 9:45, at 10 o'clock, went under.
Wow. And then it took a week for recovery?
I'm telling you right now.
Or are you still
I'm telling you right now, I could
recovering?
probably use another week this morning. It's hard getting up in the adjustment and they cut the muscle wall on the left-hand side below the belly
I noticed you got
button.
an ab replacement, right?
Yeah, I had ab replacement surgery. That's what I tell everybody. I said I didn't have an appendicitis attack. I really wanted to look good for the holidays. So that's the newest thing, you know.
Oh, yeah. That's
right? For people who work out as little as I do.
Yeah. Well,
ab replacement surgery.
Dave Stewart, as you know, filled in for you.
I love Dave.
I love Dave, too. And sometimes it's, rough when you're up against the clock.
Sure.
Because someone we know with the initials DP kind of ignores time clock management. So here's Dave Stewart one of the days when he filled in because, I love bloopers. And governors join to get Rauner reelected. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Dave Stewart in for Mike Scott.
Coming up at 7 o'clock after a look at Fox News, we'll be looking at an announcement video from Governor Rauner. First,
he
Fox
admits
News.
We don't have all the answers about what happened.
That stinks. That stinks when you're not used to the program, when you've got so many other different things going on, when you're trying to hit the clock. Sometimes the clocks don't sync up. Sometimes they're a couple of seconds off. But hats off to Dave, who rushed in from his home on Monday morning. Bailed me out. Jim Talamonte did a fabulous job filling in on Monday when I was on the way to the hospital. And well taken care for, feeling better.
How about that Family Leave Act? Is that working in your favor?
Oh, my
or against
goodness.
You?
It's
women, we get treated really well when it comes to Family Leave Act if we,
well, dip your toe in
children.
it. It's very complicated. And one of the most amazing things about it at the beginning, and it's good at the beginning, is you're not allowed contact between your employer and you. Once the Family Medical Leave Act kicks in, and you declare for FMLA, there's no contact. The company is not allowed to contact you, email, phone, or anything like that.
Well,
HR.
What if you need to be replaced, and everybody has to be replaced when they're sick? Or don't show up for work, or have an emergency appendicitis.
They are supposed to take care of all of that once. And again, this was following surgery when I declared for the Family Medical Leave Act. And I was on the phone with them, so we knew this was going to happen. But the unintended consequences of this is, and beware, everybody, if they're not prepared to have you come back on the morning that you say you're coming back, you're going to be locked out of everything. because that no contact rule is still in effect. And no one is awake at 5 o'clock in the morning to unlock.
So did you have problems this morning?
Oh, sure.
Just getting into your computer? And
just getting into the computers.
Because they locked you out?
Yeah, sure. But
who's responsible? I'll take care of them later today.
It's an unintended consequence of the federal law. And it's designed to protect the employee from an employer who wants you to come back too soon or is going to try to put other things. You got to do extra work. You have to do these hours or do these things. And the other unintended consequence of this is we go to work at 3 o'clock in the morning, right?
Right.
HR doesn't get there till 9 a.m. So that's a big 6-hour gap that nobody takes into account.
Well, we're glad you're back.
Good to be back.
And I'm very disappointed. I really wanted your appendix. I wanted it bronzed or in some sort made into a Christmas ornament so that we could hang it on the AM 560 Christmas tree.
That's gross.
In the lobby.
But what I was more afraid of...
that's not gross. People are eating placentas. I don't think that's gross.
That's gross.
It's all for the children.
That's for the children. I was afraid you were going to grind it up and put it in with crazy's ashes. And then it was going to be spread on Rahm Emanuel's front lawn. And if that were to happen, my DNA would show up on Rahm's front lawn. And those guys that live down in Mount Greenwood are going to come right up to my house in Riverside, and that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm glad my appendix is in someone else's safe hands and not in yours.
Well, we're glad you're back, Mike.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, breaking news, Roy Moore now threatening to sue the Washington Post. But first, here's your forecast. Today, mostly sunny, a high near 43 degrees. And tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 50. That'll be nice. But there's also a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms as well. Now let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Good Monday morning, Amy. On 83, things have cleared up at Irving Park. There was an earlier crash there in Bensonville. Southbound 53, just north of the Adams Tollway, I-90. There's a crash. Not seeing any significant backup, though, because of it. Edens is fine. Kennedy inbound. Little tight. Canfield to Sayre. 21 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Hop on 24. Slow Central to Sayre. And on westbound 190, it's now stop and go from the Kennedy to the Tri-State. On Eisenhower, a 2-minute delay from 25th Avenue to around 17th. Outbound still good. Stevenson, a 5-minute delay. Harlem to Kettler. Ryan, 20 minutes either way between 95th and downtown. There's road work outbound starting around 83rd. I-57, 18 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop 422. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
One size fits all has no place in your bedroom. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of Helix Sleep, and we know one mattress can't work for everyone. That's why we created the only mattress built for you. Go to helixsleep.com, take our 2-minute sleep quiz, and we'll build your custom mattress and ship it to you for free. Try it for 100 nights, and if it's not the best sleep you've ever had, we'll pick it up and give you your money back. Go to helixsleep.com/talkradio right now, and we'll give you $50 towards your custom mattress. That's helixsleep.com/talkradio.
Hiring is important, but finding the right people can be a real challenge. That's why ZipRecruiter is obsessed with finding you qualified candidates fast. ZipRecruiter finds candidates with the right experience and notifies them to apply for your job. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within just 1 day. The right candidates are out there. This is how you find them. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
To try ZipRecruiter for free, just go to ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. America's strength is that she's a free nation. Our weakness is we've stopped defending the foundations of our freedom. Non-behavioral characteristics like race and religion take precedence over shared beliefs as it relates to who is granted entrance to America, to the extent permission is required at all. This in spite of the fact that there is plenty of identity diversity that occurs naturally within a global population that shares a common commitment to peaceful pluralism. The temperature in K-12 is approaching Fahrenheit 451 as school districts move to ban literary masterworks like To Kill a Mockingbird, because the language may offend. A recent survey of college undergrads finds 1 in 5 believes violence is acceptable to silence someone who makes a hurtful statement. Private property is seized by the state if you refuse to participate in events that violate your religious beliefs. You make too little. You make too much. You don't pay enough. You didn't build that. You need not apply. You must check your privilege. You must use these pronouns. You can't use those words. As Thomas Paine wrote, what we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. If we continue to acquiesce to those who would cheapen our freedoms, we will all pay dearly.
AM 560, The Answer.
Big news day. President Trump in the Philippines. He met with the president there, Duarte. We'll get into that. We'll also discuss Roy Moore because that is on the minds of everyone. But first, let's go to Sean from Elmwood Park, who I woke up early this morning sending out an SOS signal. Good morning, Sean. How are you?
Good morning. What happened? Did Jeeves forget to wake Proft up? Didn't he have his clothes all ironed and laid out? What seems to be the problem?
We don't really know, but we had to get security at Lake Point Towers to pound on the door.
Break into the room again? Yeah, he had Hayek sleeping on his head. Sure, I understand. I got the whole mental picture down. You know, it's funny, because didn't he just take a couple days off?
Yeah, he did.
So he takes a couple days off. You're in there with the fever, right?
Yeah, I'm not feeling well.
You're sweating. You don't feel good. And then here I am. I'm thinking I'm going to get whistled in for Thursday. Nah, it didn't happen. Think I'm going to get whistled in for Friday. No, it's Bruce Wolf whining in the mornings again. And then I get the emergency phone call at 5:07, which I normally would have loved. Just ran in there, no problem, because, listen, I'm always up. The problem is...
Yeah, what's the problem, Sean? You're in Florida.
I'm in Florida earning a living.
But weren't you at Freedom Summit?
What's that?
You were at Freedom Summit on Saturday, right?
Yeah, they got these things now called planes. You get on them, 3 hours later, poof, you're in a different magical state without tax problems, without a Pritzker, without the corruption. It's phenomenal. And it's funny, as you walk on the beach and as you park your car, because that's what I do when I get off the plane. Yeah. Immediately go to the beach and light it.
Oh, that sounds heavenly.
All you see in the lots are Illinois plates. So, I find it funny that we're now using commercials with other governors as if that's a Republican stance. I had people come up to me at the Freedom Summit. And they're like, don't you love that commercial? That commercial is disgusting to me.
Why? I love that commercial.
Because it embodies how feckless, how useless, how incompetent anybody claiming himself to be an Illinois Republican is and has been. This didn't happen overnight. And one thing more in Bruce Rauner's commercial, it's the 15 Republicans that raised my taxes. They're the ones that flipped over and raised my taxes so they could get the money from the teachers union, then retire. Then they just retire. Oh, okay, guys, have a good pension. Enjoy yourself.
All right, listen. All right, I wanted to ask you about Roy Moore because you have 2 daughters, and I know we were living in different times 40 years ago, but would you be willing, if you wanted to marry off one of your daughters into, to a man that could take care of your kids, would you let your daughters go out with Roy Moore?
I thought Joe Walsh on Friday was going to be mad at me because he was saying kind of, the benefit of the doubt and giving this. My thing is, there is a pattern. This isn't this one instance, and everyone wants to hang their hat. Oh, you believe her and her mother. It's irrelevant if you believe her and her mother. He has a pattern of dating at least 4 teenage girls after
but it was legal.
The age of 30.
But he served this country. He came back. He missed out on dating younger women because he was serving this country. And he dated women legally, 16 to 18. I just because you know what the problem is. Let me tell you this real quick, because when Dan gets here, I probably won't be able to say this. I have interviewed so many child molesters and pedophiles in my lifetime that there is never, ever just one victim. Why would he treat the other women with respect? And they even said that he was very respectful. He hugged me one time. All we did was kiss. He never did anything. And choose to be inappropriate with one woman when he's an assistant district attorney. He knows what the rule is. He knows what the land of the law is. That's why I don't believe it. You don't have just one victim.
Well, they're not women. They're girls. They're not women. He didn't date women. He dated girls. That's a problem.
But it's legal. The age of consent in Alabama is 16, and 40 years ago it was 16. Times are different back then. They probably look at us in the North and think, "Ooh, why aren't they dating teenagers?"
I'm in the South. They're not all hanging off pickup trucks with Confederate flags on the back. That's preposterous. The reality is, I don't need a lawyer to tell me what right is. I'm not interested in legalities, splitting hairs. Oh, her birthday's in June. She was illegal before that, but now she's legal. I don't need any of that. What I do know is right and wrong. And a 30-year-old man, be it today or 400 years ago, dating a teenager is wrong, which is why I have a significant problem with religions that promote that. Now, I'm not saying Christianity is one of them, but there are
he's an evangelical.
Others.
Are you blaming evangelicals?
There are clearly others. What?
Are you blaming evangelicals? That they accept that?
No. I'm blaming the fact that he gets to pretend to use that as a virtue. And the reason all these people are so upset, every one of them, who don't know Roy Moore from a Chili Pepper. Nobody knows this guy.
I know a lot of people.
Arguing like he's their uncle, is because he wrapped himself around religion. He uses religion as a cloak, right? He's the favorite of evangelicals because he wouldn't take the Ten Commandments out of the courthourhouse. Well, so what?
Well, he got kicked off the Alabama State Supreme Court because of that. It's a decision he made.
I don't need Roy Moore. I don't need Roy Moore to tell me that's wrong, and they shouldn't have been out of the court.
All right. Well, what's the youngest you've dated?
I never dated anyone younger than me in my whole life.
In your whole life? Oh, you like older ladies, huh?
When I was in 8th grade, I wanted to date my teacher. So the minute I could start dating, I dated everybody that was 5 years older. And not just because I thought they were easier. That wasn't the case. I always liked older women. I just did. It was just something in me.
But he married. So during that time between 1969 and 71, that's when he met his wife, who he's still married to. And she was a teenager at the time. And he asked for her parents' permission to take her out on a date. They fell in love, and they've been married. Now they have children and grandchildren. And I'm sticking by him. I do not believe this story at all. It smells to me. There's something wrong with it.
I have a teenage daughter, and I know Joe Walsh, and I know his son, handsome Irishman that he is. If you come to my door and you ask to take out my 16-year-old daughter and you're 30, you're not going to have a problem with a happy ending story because we're going to be fist fighting on my front porch. I think it's sick. It's despicable, and I don't care about happy endings. And some guy says, go ahead and date my teenage daughter. That's not the point. The point is his judgment. The point is his character. And to cloak yourself in religion and use that as saying, oh, I'm not so bad, I'm religious, that's the problem with our whole country and our whole system. I don't care what someone is anymore. Stop describing people as religious. It's sickening. What is your character? What is your fundamental? And what is your principles? And if you got a pattern of dating teenagers, ta-da, you're a pedophile.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Sean.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM 560, The Answer.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
Check out GalloLiquidators.com, DuPage County's online auction destination. GalloLiquidators.com. That's GALLO Liquidators.com. Gallo reprocesses store returns, closeouts, and shelf pulls, then lists them online starting at just $1. Auctions begin every Thursday, featuring a constantly changing variety of merchandise, tools, antiques, electronics, housewares, and much, much more. GalloLiquidators.com. It's an easy-to-use online platform featuring store returns from some of the nation's largest retailers at a fraction of the price to you, the customer. Pickup location is just blocks from downtown St. Charles. Families love coming in every weekend to pick up their auction winnings. Gallo also accepts all types of consignments. Nationwide shipping is now available. Don't miss out. Visit GalloLiquidators.com, DuPage County's online auction destination. That's GalloLiquidators.com. GALLO Liquidators.com.
5:57 is our time. Heavy, dense fog this morning. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Fog and ice are problems in parts of the area in Marengo. There's a major crash which has Harmony Road closed between the Jane Addams Tollway I-90 and Primrose Lane. So the road is very icy and there's extrication involved in this crash. And, of course, it's also foggy in that area. The Edens is okay. Kennedy inbound, 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 30, westbound 190 at Stop and Go to Kennedy to the Tri-State. About Eisenhower, 33 minutes from 390 to downtown, outbound 30. Stevenson, 39 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan is 21 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 18 with roadwork wrapping up. I-57, 18 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 422. Got a crash on eastbound 390 at Mitchell in the left lane. Southbound 53, we've got a little bit of heavy traffic around the Adams Tollway with a crash. Traffic service of Indeed.com. You hiring? Join the over 3 million businesses that use Indeed.com for hiring. You can post a job in minutes and manage your candidates from the easy-to-use dashboard. Post your next job on the world's #1 job site, Indeed.com. That's traffic on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. With our meteorologist, here's Kevin Snyder.
Chilly today with clouds giving way to some sun, high 44. Tonight, patchy clouds, low 34. Tomorrow, some sun, followed by clouds with a high 47. Showers at night, low 43. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 33 at O'Hare, 36 along the lakefront. Jim has been telling you about that ice. 31 in Lansing this morning, so it could be icy out there along with that fog. The news is service of Office Depot, Office Max. You've been taking care of business all year, so let Office Depot, Office Max take care of you. Treat yourself to great deals on tech and furniture like maybe a new laptop or replace that squeaky chair. You deserve it. Office Depot, Office Max, taking care of business. 5:59, here are the stories we're following on AM 560. The Answer: 2 infants safe after the vehicle they were sitting in was stolen on Chicago's South Side. The last of 5 Wheaton College football players charged with hazing expected to enter a not guilty plea later today. A newly approved Metra budget includes service cuts and fare increases for 2018. Packers over the Bears 23-16. Devils over the Blackhawks 7-5 at the United Center. More Dan and Amy after Fox. WIND Chicago News Time. 6 o'clock.
He says there's been red carpet like nobody's ever received. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump in the Philippines, the last stop on his Asian trip.
The way they've treated us, the respect that Japan and China and South Korea in particular, because we went there, have treated us has been really a great respect for the people of our country.
He's at a Southeast Asian Nations Summit saying he's made more progress on trade than we know, and he'll announce something when he returns this week. The president also met with the Philippines leader, Rodrigo Duterte.
President Trump didn't come here to confront Duterte. He's being very pragmatic in this trip. He needs Duterte's support in putting pressure on North Korea. He also needs his support for China's expansion in the South China Sea and trade and improving relations with the Philippines.
That's Fox's John Roberts in Manila. The White House says human rights were briefly discussed. Duterte's deadly crackdown on drugs has been controversial. Tears in Texas at a Sunday service inside a tent in Sutherland Springs. Hundreds gathered a week after the church shooting spree.
It was great to see so many familiar faces, but under such tragic circumstances, you know.
After the service, people went inside the church where 26 white chairs were set up with a rose on each for every one of those murdered. There's a new report on the murder of an Army Green Beret. Fox's Rachel Sutherland details it live from Washington.
Dave, money may have been the motive behind the murder of Staff Sergeant Logan Milgar in Mali. The Daily Beast cites sources as saying 2 members of the elite Navy SEAL Team 6 were dipping into an informant's fund and offered the Green Beret a cut of the money when he found out, but he refused. He later died, with a military medical examiner ruling the cause as homicide by asphyxiation. The 2 SEALs, who have not been identified, claim Milgar had been drinking on the day of his death, but tests confirmed there were no drugs or alcohol in his system. Dave.
Rachel, the earth quaked last night in Iran near the Iraq border, causing damage in both countries and deaths. More than 330 have been killed, more than 4,000 others injured. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling that you're safe to enjoy the things that matter most. ADT lets you take that feeling with you, whether you're at home, your business, or online. We help keep you safe with security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling for less than $1 a day. ADT, home, safe home.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. Choosing the right mortgage lender involves much more than just a rate. Quicken Loans has earned 11 J.D. Power Awards for client satisfaction. And we invented Rocket Mortgage, a simpler, hassle-free way to get a mortgage completely online. No one else has anything like it. So choose Quicken Loans, America's #1 online lender. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. According to creditcard.com, cardholders in Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Michigan are carrying over $33,000 of debt on their credit cards. The Federal Reserve recently increased the interest rates 1/4 point, which, according to credit enhancement expert Gary Novell, will increase the average credit card holder's interest payments $825 a year. The good news is home values have rebounded, so now is an excellent time to use your home's equity to eliminate your stress, pay off credit card debt, and lower your monthly payments. To see if you can use your home's equity to pay off your debt, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358, and MLS 19186.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-700-1368. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-700-1368. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-700-1368. 1-800-700-1368.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and sorry for my tardiness this morning, but my butler Kingsley saw me sleeping like an angel, and he thought, he probably needs an extra hour this morning.
Oh, really?
And so I kind of defer to him. He's my caretaker.
Well, I get worried, and then I start calling your friends and friends of your friends, and then, start texting people and just wonder where you are. But it's not like it hasn't happened to other people. One time, Jeff Reisman called me because they couldn't find me. Now, granted, this was 2 years ago, but listen to the concern in Jeff Reisman's voice when they couldn't find their Swedish princess.
Hey there, Amy. It's Jack. It's Friday. It's about 5:40. We're concerned about you. Where are you? You're not responding to messages, texts. This is very uncharacteristic. I'm concerned. I wish I had Chris's information. Hopefully you're just sick or maybe had a power outage and you slept through the alarm. But
flood. Maybe a flood.
It was sunshine.
Maybe you were swallowed into a black hole with MH370. I don't know. Well, he's your concerned Jewish aunt. Yeah, it's nice. Fine. I didn't get such a voicemail
No.
of concern. I don't know what that means. Yeah, stupid phone. What the heck was these
Yeah,
phones?
what is? Well, I thought maybe you missed your flight or something.
No,
or...
my phone was fully charged. You know, and I guess it's not holding a charge or something because it was off. But the real lesson here for you kids out there is make sure to set your Hawk Harrelson alarm clock.
Right.
I
went to great lengths
redundancy.
to get that alarm clock for you.
I have that redundancy in it, and I failed to set it, so that's my fault.
I'm just glad you're alive because we're going to have a very special Dan and
Remembering Dan Proft.
I had the montage all ready to go.
Yeah, that's right. You've already written my obituary.
Yeah.
It's like the New York Times. You know, you got to have an obituary at the ready when a famous person goes. You've got the whole show planned out, and you can't wait to host it. All right, let's talk a little bit Roy Moore. That's the big news over the weekend. Roy Moore sitting down. Well, not sitting down. It was a telephone interview with Sean Hannity on his radio program on Friday, responding to the allegations that were detailed in that Washington Post piece from many years ago. And Roy Moore, in his own words, responding to the allegations right at the outset.
Do you know Miss Korfman? Do you know the mother?
I don't know Miss Korfman from anybody. I've never talked to her, never had any contact with her. Allegations of sexual misconduct with her are completely false. I believe they're politically motivated. I believe they're brought only to stop a very successful campaign, and that's what they're doing. I've never known this woman or anything with regard to the other girls. You understand this is 40 years ago, and after my return from the military, I dated a lot of young ladies. I do recognize, however, the names of two of these young ladies, Debbie Wesson and Gloria Thacker, which they have a maiden, that's their maiden name.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro. Text line. Are you essentially with President Trump on this, where if the allegations are true, then Roy Moore should step down, but as long as he's denying them and there's no evidence beyond the contents of that Washington Post story, that he should stay in the race, or that it's fine that he stay in the race and go to this election in December, unless, of course, the Alabama governor moves it, which is what a lot of Republicans are pressuring her to do.
I'm behind Roy Moore 100%.
Are you really?
100%, because, and I said this earlier, if he's an alleged molester or a pedophile, there is never, ever just one victim, ever. And he treated those other women, he mentioned Debbie, Wesson, and Gloria, with respect. He asked their mothers first, can I please date your daughter? One girl he hugged, that's as far as it went. The other one he gave a kiss to on the cheek. Well, and why would he be inappropriate with one and not with the others?
Well, here's the question about the other two girls, because the women, I guess.
Well, but it was of legal age. It's still the age of consent. People keep saying, oh, it's disgusting for a 30-year-old to date a 16 or a 17 or an 18-year-old. No, it's not. You guys do it all the time. And if you don't do it in your 30s, then you do it when you're 60 and you're dating somebody who looks like your granddaughter. Because I see it at East Bank Club all the time. And I sit there and I'm like, please be the granddaughter. Please be the granddaughter. Then he kisses her and I go, oh, it's his wife. Yuck. It happens all the time.
Or maybe it's the granddaughter.
No, thank you.
But
we take bets at East Bank Club, like what's going on. So this happens all the time. Now it's not acceptable.
Okay, well, let's set aside the accusations about the 14-year-old, because that's obviously out of bounds, and there's no real debate about that. Even Roy Moore concedes that in this interview, which I'll get to. But the first of the other two teenagers, because it sounds like Roy Moore in this interview isn't exactly saying whether or not he did date them.
But he knows their mothers.
He knows their mothers, but we may have... you hear Roy Moore for himself. This is Roy Moore on the first of the other two teenagers that were documented in that Washington Post story.
Because Debbie Wesson Gibson says she was 17 when you spoke to her high school civics class and asked her out on several dates, and it did not progress, her words, beyond kissing, according to the Washington Post. Let's stay on her. Did that happen?
I do not remember speaking to a civics class. I don't remember that. I do not remember when I seem to remember knowing her parents. That they were friends. I can't recall specific dates because that's been 40 years, but I remember her as a good girl. but neither of them have ever stated any inappropriate behavior. She didn't say anything that they.
Well, she said, but do you remember ever going on a date with her? She said that you asked her out on the first of several dates, but nothing progressed beyond kissing.
I don't remember specific dates. No, I do not. And I don't remember if it was that time or later, but I do not remember that. No.
But you know her, but you never dated her ever. Is that what you're saying?
Know her, but I don't remember going out on dates. I knew her as a friend. If we did go out on dates, then we did, but I do not remember that.
So that's one of the other teenagers.
I'm still sticking by him.
Okay. Well, and here's the second. This is
40 years ago. I can't remember what I did 4 hours ago. Maybe I was sleeping. Maybe I was sleepwalking. I mean, who knows?
Don't tell me you don't remember that
banging.
comfort in with Edward James Olmos. Because I wouldn't know how to tell him. The second woman who allegedly was plied with wine by Roy Moore, Hannity asks him about.
What about Gloria Thacker Deason? Says she was an 18-year-old cheerleader when you began taking her on dates that included bottles of Matus Rosé wine. She's 18 at the time. The Alabama drinking age at the time is 19. Did that ever happen?
No, because in this county, it's a dry county. We never would have had liquor. If I would never, and I believe this, she said that she believed she was underage. And she, as I recall, she was 19 or older. And that just never happened. I've never provided alcohol, beer, or intoxicating liquors to a minor. That would be against the law, against anything I would have ever done. And I seem to remember her as a good girl. I seem to remember that I had some sort of knowledge of her parents or her mother, very in particular.
And these women wanted their daughters to marry a successful man. That's why they allowed them to go on a date.
Well, but
their story's falling apart because it is a dry county.
But they allowed him to go on a date allegedly, but Roy Moore doesn't remember any of those dates. And then this is perhaps the most cringe-worthy portion of the interview.
At that time in your life, let me ask you this. You do remember these girls. Would it be unusual for you as a 32-year-old guy to have dated a woman as young as 17? That would be a, 15-year difference, or a girl 18. Do you remember dating girls that young at that time?
Not generally, no. If I did, I'm not going to dispute anything, but I don't remember anything like that.
Oh, that's the non-answer answer. Why doesn't he just say, yeah, we all did back then? Men dated younger women, and it's legal, so we're okay. And I did nothing inappropriate except for the one girl who claims I did something, and there's no circumstantial evidence to prove her claim. I mean, there's no video cameras, surveillance cameras that we had back then to show them together outside this courthouse. I mean, the only thing we have is that the Washington Post reporters put his office down the hallway from the courtroom where he allegedly met her, and that her mom did go to court that day. That's the only thing they can find.
And so Hannity, just one more bite, Hannity revisits that question and answer you just heard towards the end of the interview, and Roy Moore's answer changes a bit. Roy Moore in his own words.
Would it be normal behavior back in those days for you to date a girl that's 17 or 18?
No, not normal.
If my daughter is 17, my daughter's 16 years old. If she's 17 or 18, I don't want her dating a 32-year-old.
I wouldn't either.
And you can say unequivocally you never dated anybody that was in their late teens like that when you were 32?
It would have been out of my customary behavior. That's right.
In other words, you don't recall ever dating any girl that young when you were that old?
I've said no.
And you think that's inappropriate, too? That's what you're saying?
Inappropriate, yes.
But no, he met his wife during that same time period, and she was 15 years younger than him. 17 years younger. I mean, why not just admit that's what you did? And look at who I married, who I'm still married to today, and we've had a loyal relationship for 35 plus years. Point that out. Don't dance around it.
Well, I mean, does Roy Moore create a credibility problem for himself with those two, the different answers to the two questions? Different answers, I should say, to the same question asked twice. That's really what it was. And then he's denying he dated anyone in their teens when he was in his 30s. He's also denying He's also agreeing that that would be inappropriate. So for the other two women that came forward that were documented in that Washington Post story, he's suggesting at minimum that he doesn't remember dating them. At maximum, he's conceding that would have been inappropriate if it turns out that he had.
Get a story and stick to it, man. But this morning, I mean, we learned actually late last night he spoke in Huntsville, Alabama, and said that he's threatening litigation against the Washington Post.
For defamation.
Yeah, so that's a big deal.
Verlin on the South Side. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
This is a political hit job. Do people forget about Herman Cain? Do people forget about what they tried to do to Donald Trump and now what they're doing to Roy Moore? This is straight out of the Democrat playbook. Every time they can't get you on nothing legit or you're a squeaky clean person, they trot these women out from God knows where to bring you down. When Herman Cain stepped down for the presidential race, where did the women go? Did they suddenly forgive him or now they okay with it? They waited almost 40 years. And then they waited until he won the nomination, and now he's in position to win, to bring these women out of nowhere to try to bring the man down. People need to wake up and understand this is what the Democrats do. This is their playbook. Sexist, homophobe, bigot, racist. They got to try to take you down with one of the four. People in Alabama are going to see through it. And number one, Amy's right. In Alabama or wherever they're from, it was probably a normal practice.
Yes.
It's probably not normal for me and you because we grew up in the city, but down there it's probably...
Well, you know...
No, that's true.
Thanks for the call, Verlin.
I lived in El Paso, Texas. They do things differently down there. It's not everywhere. The country is so different no matter where you're living.
Well, it's also different within different parts of the country. I mean, the idea that it's sort of a cartoonish caricature of people in the South. So I don't think so. I don't think everybody... found if what the allegations against Roy Moore are true, even setting aside the 14-year-old, I don't think everybody in Alabama is going to be fine with that. And, by the way, we know that they're not fine with that because at least one survey out over the weekend has him now down 4 points in the race. I mean, this is a walk-away race, Republican versus Democrat, straight up in the state of Alabama, where I don't think a Democrat's won statewide in 25 years.
His popularity is up among evangelicals. There's a different poll that kind of disagrees with that poll.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to why people are rallying around Roy Moore. But I'm just saying, that's not all people in the South are this way, and there's a different standard of morality down there. Yeah,
but it was a half century ago too.
For the most part, I think the standard of morality is heightened in the South as compared to the big cities where we're all so sophisticated, like Chicago. Oh boy. But the one point that Verlin made, though, that Roy Moore has made and other people are making in his defense, 40 years in the public eye, multiple statewide candidacies, and also this recently passed primary where the entire GOP establishment, including President Trump, was opposed to him. And why doesn't this come out? How does this only get unearthed now, a month before an election? I think that's a legitimate question to ask, even if you stipulate or even if you believe the details in the Washington Post article. That is unusual that somebody who's been through that vetting process as many times in high-profile races like Roy Moore has, that this wouldn't have come out earlier, right?
You know, with me, timing's everything.
Yeah, well...
that's the first thing I said. The timing, it's too shady. That's why you really have to... I think choose a side and stick with it because the only thing that's going to destroy Roy Moore right now is if this woman, Leah Korfman, does a sit-down television interview. That will hurt him tremendously, I think.
Or maybe if Roy Moore continues to do interviews like he did with Hannity, because I don't think he particularly helped himself in that interview. I want to get to this Eric Erickson piece, though, about why Roy Moore voters are sticking with him and why Erickson, an evangelical, somebody who's conservative bona fides, I think, are pretty solid, as well as religious bona fides, why he understands why Roy Moore voters are sticking with him. And we'll take more of your calls as well.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
And then later, Roger Goodell wants a raise, and he has a demand that is just spectacular. But first, here's your forecast. Areas of fog this morning, otherwise chilly with some clouds breaking for a little bit of sunshine by the afternoon, a high of 43 degrees. Then tomorrow, some sunshine giving way to clouds, a little bit warmer, a high anywhere between 46 to 48 degrees. And then we'll hit the 50s by midweek. Let's now get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy. And Dan, good morning. We are seeing some flight delays now to O'Hare, more for arrivals than departures with that fog. And it's not only foggy, but icy. Northwest of Chicago and Marengo, Harmony Road is closed. In the Adams Tollway and Primrose, crash. We're told the road is a sheet of ice. Also, in Hampshire, Derby Line Road at New Lebanon Road, 2 overturned vehicles. Cornfield, Round Lake, there's a crash. Eastbound 60 east of Cedar Lake Road. Edens is 21 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. Kennedy from O'Hare to downtown, 22 minutes, outbound 35. Westbound 190 has delays from Kennedy to Manheim. The Eisenhower is 43 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 34. Stevenson, 44 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 36. Ryan, 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. It's heavy on the northbound tri-state from I-80 to the 163rd Street toll, from the 83rd Street toll to Archer. Hinsdale Way to 47th, Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, Adams Tollway stop and go, Manheim to the Kennedy. Jim Talamonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I hate cleaning my gutters. I kept hearing ads for that gutter guard system, so I thought, why not? I'll get an estimate. I was shocked. I never thought gutter guards could cost so much. Then I heard about Spring Rock gutter guards. The estimate is free, so it made sense to at least compare them. I was shocked again by how much money they saved me. I'm talking thousands, like enough to take my family to Disney World. They take a different approach to gutter protection. A completely closed design keeps all types of debris out of your gutters. Sure, those higher-priced systems may keep the leaves out, but Spring Rock gets the job done at up to half the price with no compromise on quality. Spring Rock also comes with the same lifetime warranty. If the gutter system ever clogs, they will clean it out for free, no questions asked. Same result for less money. That's smart. There's more than one option when it comes to gutter guards. Compare today and save at springrockgutters.com or call 708-571-0632. Special financing is available. Drain your gutters, not your wallet.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I have been on these supplements from Balance of Nature for a couple of years now. And prior to that, I used other supplements. They did nothing for me. This has been absolutely wonderful. I have never felt so good, and I have felt so much better health-wise. My cholesterol's down. All my numbers are down, and it's been great. So I highly recommend Balance of Nature.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Balance of Nature. Order today.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chuck Spaveri, CEO of Spaveri's Custom Counters, a Chicagoland manufacturer of residential and commercial countertops. If there's a local commercial bank who knows how to get a deal done, it's Signature Bank. When my brother and I needed it, Signature Bank came through with a creative financing solution. That's because Signature Bank has experience working with companies like ours, a second-generation, family-owned and operated manufacturer. Our business matters to Signature Bank, and that comes through in every visit and every phone call with their team, right up to the bank's co-founders, Kevin, Mick, and Brian. Spaveri's is proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Savings based on 2-year protection plan compared to T-Mobile premium device protection as of July 12, 2017. Square Trade does not cover lost or stolen items. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting a new phone? Get this. Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our phone. So, protecting your phone is a smart idea. But phone insurance through your wireless carrier can cost as much as $15 every month. Switch to SquareTrade phone protection instead, for half the cost of insurance through your wireless carrier. And you could save $200 or more. It's like protecting 2 phones for the price of 1. SquareTrade covers accidents like drops and spills with easy same-day repair options. Part of the Allstate family, we're trusted by over 30 million customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And switching to SquareTrade is easy. How else can you save $200 in 10 minutes? So don't wait. Switch today.
Switch to SquareTrade now and you can save over $200. Visit squaretrade.com. That's squaretrade.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy talking Roy Moore. Let's take a couple more calls. Scott on the west side. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan. Good morning, and thanks for Dan, Amy. Thanks for taking my call. Dan, I'm with Amy on this one 100%. I don't think it's that uncommon for older men to date older teenage girls that are in their teens and they're going into their early 20s, and that if it was the age of consent, he did nothing illegal. The problem was the way he answered the questions on Sean Hannity. If he would have answered the questions straightforward and said, yes, I was young and foolish and I did do that, maybe we wouldn't be where we're at right now.
Thanks for the call, Scott. Well,
own it. You know what? I'm like a lot of men in America. I'm an accomplished 32-year-old. I served this country. I'm dating a younger woman. What's the big deal? Because they're of childbearing years. And back then, that's important. You don't want to date somebody who's 25 or 26. Back then, they couldn't have kids.
Well,
now with modern medicine, people.
Kids.
Well, a lot of people. No, like my grandma got married when she was 26, and that was considered way too old. There was concern, she won't be able to have children because she's so old.
Well, there is a point to that. I got an email. There is a point to that. Mike from Oak Lawn emailed in. My great-grandmother was married at 14. My great-aunt was married at 14. My grandmother was married at 17. It was different in the South 40 years ago.
It was different even in the North 40 years ago.
Well, sure.
My mom got married. She was 19.
Well, obviously, we know the
I'm 90.
Yeah, we know, but we know the age at which people are getting married has increased dramatically over the last half century. There's no question about that. If it was just the 2 teenagers that alleged that they dated him, the 14-year-old, the combination of the 3, the way he answered those questions, the details. I mean, I find kind of troubling.
Well, I don't dismiss that something like that might have happened to that 14-year-old girl or Leah when she was 14, but maybe it was somebody else and not Roy Moore that did that to her. I don't. I mean, because I know there's great detail, but I can make up a story like this with great detail. I could put you in a nasty situation right now, Dan. With some pretty bad
Sure
detail.
You could.
It's called storytelling.
Paul in Lake Forest.
Hey, good morning. Good show.
Thanks.
I appreciate it. I can relate to a couple of subjects about which you're talking right now. First of all, Amy, I'm one of the guys you're betting on at the East Bank. I haven't dated. I'm 58. I haven't dated anybody over 40 in a long time.
Own it, though. Good.
They're too bitter, too angry, too much baggage. But that's not why I called. I played baseball in the South in high school. So that was 40-some years ago. I mean, in college, I'm sorry. At a big university, and stayed in the South over the summer to play ball, 2 summers in Mobile, Alabama. I was 18, 19 years old. I had 21, 22-year-old teammates that were married to like their 16-year-old cousins, and they had a kid. I mean, that's just how it was back then. I'm this wide-eyed kid from the North Shore down in the South. They had remnants of whites-only bathrooms down there.
Well, yeah, sure.
They had White Way Social Club. If you put club at the end of it, you could discriminate against anybody you wanted. I mean, this is how Alabama was 40 years ago. Hey, if the guy did a 14-year-old, he should go to hell. Okay, I agree with that, but I'm just telling you, it was totally different. And the law doesn't believe in coincidence, and that's what's happening here. This is just not a coincidence that this is coming out a month before the election. It just is.
Thanks for the call, Paul. Appreciate that. We'll pick up this conversation after the news with Mike Scott, fresh off his calf implants, right? Calf implants?
No, ab implants. My calves are fine for now. 34 degrees, cloudy skies. Winds are west at 4, and we have had trouble with ice this morning and heavy dense fog. President Donald Trump praising Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte as his trip to the east continues.
We've had a great relationship. This has been very successful. We have many meetings today with many other leaders.
The president making that statement before a bilateral meeting with Duterte in Manila, brushing off questions about human rights as he continues his trip to Japan, Korea, and elsewhere. Duterte has faced criticism, of course, for instigating a drug war that has killed thousands, according to many reports, since he came to office. Alabama Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore pushing back against the Washington Post over an article accusing him of sexual misconduct. Moore telling a group of supporters he will take legal action.
These attacks involve a minor child, completely false and untrue, and for which they will be sued.
He made that statement while denying he had sexual encounters with 4 teenage girls in the 1970s during a speech yesterday. The death toll increasing following a powerful earthquake near the Iran-Iraq border. NBC Tehran bureau chief Ali Arouzi describes the damage that has been seen so far.
This powerful 7.3 magnitude earthquake on the Iranian-Iraqi border, according to officials here, has killed at least 300 people and thousands more have been injured.
Officials say that death toll is likely to rise. Worshippers at a South Texas church remembering the 26 killed there last week. Members of the First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs gathered Sunday at a baseball field near the building. It still bears the scars of the worst mass shooting in recent Texas history. The NFL's Compensation Committee will meet today to consider a contract extension for Commissioner Roger Goodell. There are reports that Goodell wants nearly $50 million a year. Yeah, this is quite a perk. Lifetime use of a private jet. Here in Chicago, 2 infants are safe. The vehicle they were sitting in was stolen on Chicago's south side near 87th and South Cottage Grove. Chicago police found that Chevy with both infants inside unharmed. The last of 5 Wheaton College football players, all charged with hazing, expected to enter a not guilty plea later today. Bears fall to the Packers 23-16. Devils over the Blackhawks in a shootout 7-5. Bulls close out a 2-game road trip later on this week at the Thunder. The news service of Office Depot and Office Max. You've been taking care of business all year, so let Office Depot Office Max take care of you. Treat yourself to great deals on tech and furniture, like maybe a new laptop or replace that squeaky chair. You deserve it. Office Depot Office Max, taking care of business. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Ready for a bad cold and flu season? A cold is a cold, but flu brings fever. Be prepared with the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer backed by medical professionals everywhere.
Millwright work is often technical and requires a high degree of precision. The pros at Vans Industrial are skilled mechanics that can perform any type of millwright work, including installation and maintenance of your factory equipment and machinery. For your machine repair needs, look no further than Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial millwright contractor that can install new mechanical systems or repair existing systems. Our services include repair of bearings, shafts, shiv alignments, as well as installation of conveyors and bucket elevators. Our team of trained mechanics will respond to your emergency calls 24/7, keeping your systems operational. We're here to help you.
Call 219-931-4881 today for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
The IRS doesn't mess around. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. If you owe back taxes, call Optima Tax Relief. Optima has access to a special IRS program called the Fresh Start Initiative, and their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. Optima is A-rated with the Better Business Bureau. Don't delay. Call now for your free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Liberty Mutual presents worry-free music moments.
Switching to Liberty Mutual could save you $782 on the perfect home and auto insurance for your needs, so you can feel good about the family budget and the massage you're about to treat yourself to.
This is awesome.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide survey of new customers. Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company.
6:37. Let's check the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. It's bad northwest of Chicago, especially in some of the far outlying areas with the fog and also some ice, perhaps some freezing fogs. There are a lot of crashes and some major crashes as well. Marengo Harmony Road is closed from the Adams Tollway I-90 south of Primrose, where there's a crash. Extrication involved. The road's a sheet of ice. Hampshire, there are a couple of overturned vehicles around Derby Lawn and New Lebanon Road. Again, a number of crashes in the north and northwest suburbs, especially. Eden's 26 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy, 39 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 14 from Montrose, 12 on the express, outbound. An hour and 5 minutes to the airport with additional delays on westbound 190. The Eisenhower is 43 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 34. Stevenson now 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 40. Ryan 21 minutes, 90 to the loop. Heavy on the eastbound Adams Tollway, Manheim to the Kennedy. Veterans Memorial now a little slow. Fountain Toll, and Roosevelt to St. Charles. Traffic, it's a service of Indeed.com. Are you hiring? Join the over 3 million businesses that use Indeed.com for hiring. You can post a job in minutes and manage your candidates from an easy-to-use dashboard. Post your next job on the world's #1 job site, Indeed.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Fog this morning, otherwise chilly. Clouds will break later in the day, a high of 43. We just have updated temperatures. And what Jim was talking about is true. There is a line of demarcation this morning right about DeKalb, where the temperature drops down to 26, 25. Freeport, Rochelle, Peru. So if you're traveling west to Rockford, it's 26 there, and that fog is freezing. East of DeKalb, those temperatures, like at O'Hare, 33, 36 along the lakefront, and 33 this morning in Lansing. So the further west you go, that freezing fog is really having an impact. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs powered by Tandem HR. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
Some call me the sage from South Central. Others call me the czar of common sense. But you can call me Larry Elder. And you're invited to join me tonight, starting at 7, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Roy Moore sat down, did an interview with Sean Hannity on his radio program on Friday. And here's what he said to explain the Washington Post story and the subsequent calls for him to end his candidacy for U.S. Senate in Alabama.
This never happened. They know it never happened. And obviously, you don't wait 40 years to bring out something like this. There are going to come out facts. There will be facts to show in this situation that this was the Democrat and maybe even the established Republican effort to undermine this campaign because they don't want to hear the truth in Washington and they don't want to hear the truth about God and about the Constitution.
And it's strange, 42 of the GOP senators have spoken out. Most are saying the same thing. You know, if the allegations are proven true, then he needs to step down. But Kellyanne Conway, it sounds like she's backing Roy Moore a little bit. Here she is on This Week.
What has to happen before you would advise the president to say Roy Moore should step aside?
The president said he should step aside if the allegations are true.
If. So where does the if lie?
But Martha, hold on. I want to broaden this conversation. It would be a very dangerous precedent for any of us, for any person in this country, to just be cast aside as guilty because of press reports.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Do you believe Roy Moore's supposition about why this story now? Now, a couple of things on that. One, you have to believe that these three women who don't know each other, at least there's no evidence to suggest they know each other, decided to come forward with very different and detailed stories a month before the election to derail Roy Moore. That they conjured up these very specific stories independent of one another.
Well, we know the Washington Post reporter, they had been, when they were following the special election, they had heard rumblings about Roy Moore. So she called down two of her other friends, and they spent days hounding these four women. And then they would talk to them, and then they talk to their friends and say, at the time, did she mention that Roy Moore had patted her on her breast or, with her bra on top? And they all agreed that this had happened.
So, I mean, the Washington Post is planting false memories into these women, or maybe nobody just bothered to ask the questions in furtherance of the rumors that swirled around Roy Moore in Alabama. I don't know.
Well, Lee said that several times she wanted to confront him, and one time he was running, for statewide office, and she sat in the parking lot, she said, but she had two children, and she didn't want to put them through that.
Mm-hmm.
But she wanted to confront him and go and stand in front of him and say, remember me? And she didn't have the courage to do it. She's been divorced 3 times. She's now working at a payday loan place.
Well, I mean, I've seen her background in she had multiple bankruptcies and this and that. So what?
So what? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. We're not going to prosecute
in
people that way.
2005, she paid for a fine for driving a boat without lights. I mean, that's how detailed that the Washington Post got on her.
Well, right, but right, the irrelevant, right, prejudicial. Here's the other question though about this and about what Kellyanne Conway was getting to with Martha Raddatz. It's what Mitt Romney said. In a political campaign, you don't have the presumption of innocence. This isn't a court of law. This is a court of public opinion. This is the political arena, not the legal arena. He's not on trial for a crime. He is a candidate for federal office. And so is the standard different, that it doesn't matter if you can prove beyond a reasonable doubt the allegations are true. If you're more likely than not to believe them, if he does an insufficient job of addressing them, then should he step down? Is he effectively, for the political arena, guilty enough? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Tim Scott, the, of course, Republican senator from South Carolina, was on Face the Nation, and he suggested that on December 12th, assuming that's still the election date, it will be the voters who make that decision.
In this case, though, if the allegations are true, he's denying them. How do you find proof? What seemed interesting about what Mitt Romney said and Lee and Daines have said is they've looked at the case as presented by the Washington Post, and that was sufficient evidence for them.
There's no doubt that the case is compelling. The judge and the jury in this case will be the people of Alabama, the voters of Alabama. They will have an opportunity to weigh in very clearly and decisively and very shortly.
And a lot of the voters in Alabama, I mean, they're standing by him, at least the ones that I saw on CNN and NBC.
I just don't believe he's guilty.
And a lot of them think that this is generated by moderate Republicans in Washington.
Well, so here's ultimately this question. I mean, and it's a corollary to Mitt Romney's statement. Should the voters of Alabama be the judge and jury, or should the Republican Party hierarchy be the judge and jury, essentially applying enough pressure, if that's possible, to get Roy Moore to leave the race? But should they remove the Republican hierarchy, including President Trump, should they remove the if proven true and force him out of the race, acting as judge and jury, or should the voters be judge and jury? Take your calls on that. Carol and Palatine, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. How are you?
Morning.
Good.
I have to say I agree with Amy on this one, and I'm going to educate you a little bit, Dan, about 14-year-old girls.
Okay.
Everybody,
I think you need to understand the mindset a little bit. I think Amy totally gets it. Young girls have quite the imagination, and everything is magnified. Mm-hmm. They say things to feel included in a group. They do things to feel included in a group. And I find it interesting that the only people calling in are these fathers that are outraged. It's really hard for a father to think, not my daughter. My daughter would never do this. But I'll tell you what, I cannot tell you the number of times my girls would come home and say, can I just say I did this so I feel included? You know, can I just say I did that or whatever? And so if this girl was hanging out with girls that were 17 and 18 years old, what 17 and 18-year-old girls are talking about and involved in is very different than a 14-year-old.
So you think that, 40 years later, she could still, it's possible, you're not accusing her, but it's possible she could still be clinging to a story she made up in her head.
Right, and at that time, she could have said, she could have told these other girls, well, you did this, well, let me tell you what I did.
Yeah. I kissed somebody too, or somebody touched me here too. No,
right.
it's completely feasible.
So what I think, and I'm not here, if it happened, first of all, you do have the cultural time at the time. I'm falling on his side. I agree with Amy on this one. I understand young girls. I understand the outrage of fathers in today's society. Because if it was first of all, where's the mother? Why is this 14-year-old girl hanging? If she did, where's the mother?
No, the mother said it. No,
he watched her when she went in for a custody
hearing. But then he met her because he got her home phone number, according to her, Lee. And then she walked a few blocks away from her house so that he picked her up allegedly and took her to his house in the woods, where he took these other women that he dated and nothing nefarious happened.
Although he doesn't remember that, allegedly.
Right, but if he's going to molest, it's a pat. If you're a molester, there's never just one victim. And I cannot say that enough. There's never just one.
Thanks for the call, Carol.
And he's an assistant district attorney. Why? He knows what the land of the law is.
Well, okay, but I mean, no one. There's pedophiles in all sorts of powerful positions. I mean, being a prosecutor isn't some kind of insulation from necessarily having a predator in that position.
If you got caught, you'd go to jail and lose everything.
Well, of course, pedophiles in every profession know if they get caught, they go to jail. I mean,
I just wouldn't label him a pedophile.
Well, I'm not going to label him anything, but he's accused of pedophilia. And number one, number two, we don't know if there'll be other women coming forward. So I know you're saying, well, you only have one essentially underage girl that's come forward, or woman who was underage at the time come forward. Well, we'll see. I mean, 1, 2, 3, and all of a sudden, as we've seen in other cases, they start to multiply. John in Portage Park.
Hi, I love your show. And my thing is, I think that the character of the people that own CNN and NBC and New York Times and Washington Post, the mainstream people, I think that their character should be come into question too, because I really think that they sway more opinion than a single senator would.
Yeah, thanks for the call, John. Well, I mean, in this day and age, everybody's character, despite the fact that character doesn't matter from a certain kind of secular humanist perspective that spans the ideological spectrum, actually, it turns out that character does matter because they are getting called out. I mean, we've seen what's happened in left media. New Republic. Jan Wenner, Rolling Stone, accused of sexual misconduct over the weekend. I mean, we've got, just over the weekend, we got another 10 names of Hollywood celebrities and media elites that have been accused of boorish, if not criminal, sexual conduct. So, it is coming out. Bob in Buffalo Grove, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Thanks for taking my call. Good to see you guys at the Freedom Summit. As an engineer, I love formulas. I don't know if you've ever heard of this formula. For the guys, take your age, divide it by half,
and add 7.
Add 9. And that's the youngest person you should date.
Amy believes you could add 7.
Yeah, not 9.
Yeah, 7. So there's a
years.
There's
you add 9, I add 7.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is
the
people, the voters in Alabama should decide whether or not he becomes their U.S. senator because he's representing them. Who cares what Washington thinks?
George in Libertyville.
I think it's pretty clear that they ran the race card so far into the ground that now molester is the new racist.
Okay.
Thanks for the call, George. Mark in Des Plaines.
Yeah, guys, come on. You know what? You should be going after these, liberal journalists, in the most vociferous and, aggressive manner. Come on, that's what they would do, on the other side. But honestly, this is ridiculous. Amy's right, and Amy, thank goodness you're female and you're you're qualified to judge this thing. But, you should be going after these guys, Dan. And I want to say this too, Dan. I don't hate to say it, but you yourself have come under these kinds of allegations. You personally, and you know what? They're ridiculous.
Well, yeah.
Well, you got to
okay.
stop marrying
Thanks
yourself.
for the call, Mark. Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. When I ran for office, I was accused of having like a child out of wedlock.
Oh yeah,
remember that?
Oh, that lady was cray.
Exactly. So yeah, there's a difference in this case, Mark. One is the specific allegations coming from the accusers, multiple, detailed, and then you just heard Roy Moore's answers to those questions on Hannity's program on Friday. So there's a difference. And so so it's not just the journalists making up stories or acting as the accuser, they're chronicling the details that accusers have provided. So that has to be addressed. Dan in Itasca.
Oh, you just changed what I was going to say, because Dan, I read that WAPO article. All these accusations, only the Korfman woman is making accusations of something that's truly damaging. The rest of those women, everything the worst they did was they went out on dates with him, and the worst thing that any of them said was that he kissed them, and it was consensual.
Right, I know. No, I know that, but the problem with those other two now is Roy Moore's essential denial / I don't remember about those other two.
Okay, yeah, I heard
his
that.
equivocating on the issue.
But this whole WAPO just threw those in to try to validate this Leah Korfman stuff. The other point I was going to make was I'm the same age as Roy Moore, and back during that time in the 70s, I lived in a rural state. It was Vermont, but at that time you just didn't meet women from Vermont who were available to date. They were like as rare as chicken's teeth.
You should have been hanging out with Bernie Sanders.
I met Bernie Sanders one time. I'll tell you guys that story. He picked me up hitchhiking one time. But anyway, look at Roy Moore. Roy Moore had spent his time, his 20s. He went to West Point. Then he was in Vietnam.
Yeah.
I think he was,
Yeah.
And I think he even spent a year in Australia working as a ranch hand. So then he comes back. He's like, let's say he's 30. All the women in that rural area of Alabama, they would have, especially all the good ones, they would all have been married.
Thanks for the Dan, we're up against the clock. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. And please call back at some point. We got to hear the Bernie Sanders hitchhiking story.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
I'm Lou Dobbs. China eases limits on foreign ownership of banks and securities. A GOP senator says drilling in Alaska would generate big bucks, and reports on retail sales and housing starts due this week. Those stories next. Are you being intimidated by the IRS? Rapid Resolution Tax Group is a team of tax attorneys, enrolled agents, and tax professionals who've helped thousands of people with problems just like yours, and they promise not to let the IRS intimidate you. If you are an individual or business who owes at least $10,000 to the IRS, you can turn to them for help. Has your bank account been levied? Do you have years of unfiled tax returns? Let Rapid Resolution Tax Group intervene for you. They're accredited with and A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they guarantee same-day contact with the IRS. If you qualify, Rapid Resolution Tax Group can work towards settling your tax debt for less, removing penalties and fees, and stopping levies and garnishments. Call the professionals at Rapid Resolution Tax Group at 800-601-2929. That's 800-601-2929. Following President Trump's China visit, Beijing said it will loosen restrictions on foreign ownership stakes in China's financial sector. Their move follows complaints from the United States and other trading partners. Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski says her bill to open Alaska's Arctic National Wildlife Refuge to oil and gas drilling would generate $2 billion in royalties over the next decade. But environmental groups and other critics call the projections wildly optimistic. Several economic reports due out this week, including consumer prices, retail sales, housing starts, and the Philadelphia Fed Business Outlook. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
With the holidays approaching, now's the perfect time to purchase 2 gifts and only pay for 1. Or give a gift and keep 1 for yourself. Yes, folks, the MyPillow buy 1, get 1 free offer is back. I urge you to go online or call now and take advantage. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available. I personally love my MyPillows. I get a great night's sleep by moving the fill to give me the support I need, regardless of my sleep position. And I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. They're made in America. You can wash and dry them. They're hypoallergenic, plus have a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. And it's great to know you're supporting a company that helped thousands of hurricane victims. So get your buy 1, get 1 free MyPillows as gifts or for yourself by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
We are so thrilled with this product. He was literally getting up, laying on the couch, and falling asleep. He's so alert. It's amazing, totally amazing. This is a great product. His sodium levels have been low for, I would say, maybe close to 20 years. He's normal now, and this is the first time, and I can't even thank you enough.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Order today. AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Should your children be friends with white people if you're a minority family? We'll ask our friends Diamond and Silk the question that's been posed by a by University of Iowa professor at 7:07.
But first, let's go into the newsroom and say, welcome back. Good morning. We're glad you're well. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, here are the stories we're watching right now. Heavy, dense fog, an advisory up for McHenry, Kane, and DeKalb counties, and some of that fog is freezing this morning. Plane makes an emergency landing in Grays Lake, and an elderly woman dies in a West Side blaze. Bears lost to the Packers on Sunday. Devils rallied to beat the Blackhawks. WIND Chicago News Times, 7 o'clock.
He says they've shown America a lot of respect. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We really had a tremendous time, all of the leaders.
President Trump at a Southeast Asian nations summit where there was a moment of awkwardness you might have seen in photos online as leaders tried to lock hands in a chain.
We've made a lot of big progress on trade. We have deficits with almost everybody. Those deficits are going to be cut very quickly and very substantially.
The president says he'll make a big trade announcement when he returns this week. While in the Philippines, he did meet with that nation's leader, Rodrigo Duterte, controversial for his deadly crackdown on drugs. The White House says they spoke briefly about human rights. President Trump's daughter and advisor, Ivanka, just told Fox.
Tax reform is a critical component of our plan to invigorate the economy.
House Republicans hope to pass their tax plan this week. The GOP and the Senate also working on a different version. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the Senate Finance Committee will start work today on the tax plan as lawmakers rush to meet an ambitious Thanksgiving deadline. Some Republicans, including Jeff Flake of Arizona and James Langford of Oklahoma, have expressed concern about adding to the nation's deficit. But Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania told NBC's Meet the Press the plan will actually reduce the debt.
Greater economic growth, a larger economy, and therefore
more revenue to the federal government.
The House could vote on its plan by the end of this week. Dave.
Rachel, Democrats oppose both versions, saying some in the middle class will get a tax hike and millionaires and corporations will benefit the most. Roy Moore remains defiant. The Republican Alabama Senate candidate says he'll sue the Washington Post for the story a month before the election that he groped a 14-year-old girl decades ago.
Desperate to stop my political campaign.
Moore telling supporters in Huntsville last night it's a false and fake story trying to stop his campaign, but other Republicans have called on Moore to drop out of the race. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
33 degrees this early morning. We have a fog and some freezing conditions this morning in many parts of Chicagoland. 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Foggy skies will leave to difficult driving conditions, especially in McHenry, Kane, and DeKalb counties. But the fog blankets much of our area and northwest Indiana until 10 a.m. It's especially slick in McHenry, Kane, and DeKalb because that fog, because of lower temperatures there, is beginning to freeze. One man is wounded after being shot during an attempted robbery near DePaul's campus on Chicago's north side. Chicago police tell us the victim was standing in an alley last night in the 900 block of West Fullerton when someone walked up and tried to rob him. During that confrontation, the victim was shot. He took himself to the hospital, where he remains in stable condition this morning. Our police are looking for the person who stole a vehicle in Wheeling with a woman and her 2 young children inside. The vehicle was taken yesterday near Walgreens at Milwaukee Avenue and Dundee Road. No one is in custody after 2 men were shot and killed on Chicago's southwest side. Police say the victims were walking early yesterday in the 2400 block of West 47th when someone got out of a moving vehicle and opened fire. The shooter then jumped back into that vehicle and drove off. Both victims, according to Chicago police, died at the scene. No one is hurt after a plane makes an emergency landing in Grays Lake. Small craft went down last night after having engine trouble. The FAA is investigating after the pilot landed in a farm field just short of the Campbell Airport runway. Packers over the Bears at Soldier Field, 23-16. Devils erase a 4-1 first period deficit and pull out a 7-5 win over the Blackhawks at the UC. The news, a service of Office Depot Office Max. You've been taking care of business all year, so let Office Depot Office Max take care of you. Treat yourself to great deals on tech and furniture like maybe a new laptop or replace that squeaky chair. You deserve it. Office Depot Office Max, taking care of business. 7:04 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I hate cleaning my gutters. I kept hearing ads for that gutter guard system, so I thought, why not? I'll get an estimate. I was shocked. I never thought gutter guards could cost so much. Then I heard about Spring Rock gutter guards. The estimate is free, so it made sense to at least compare them. I was shocked again by how much money they saved me. I'm talking thousands, like enough to take my family to Disney World. They take a different approach to gutter protection. A completely closed design keeps all types of debris out of your gutters. Sure, those higher-priced systems may keep the leaves out, but Spring Rock gets the job done at up to half the price with no compromise on quality. Spring Rock also comes with the same lifetime warranty. If the gutter system ever clogs, they will clean it out for free, no questions asked. Same result for less money. That's smart. There's more than one option when it comes to gutter guards. Compare today and save at springrockgutters.com or call 708-571-0632. Special financing is available. Drain your gutters, not your wallet.
Home isn't just a place. It's a feeling. Whether you're at home, your business, or online, ADT helps keep you safe. With security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling. ADT, home, safe home.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.05%. But choosing the right mortgage lender means choosing more than just a rate. Does calling the company with 11 J.D. Power Awards for client service matter? Does calling the company that invented Rocket Mortgage, the industry's most innovative technology, matter? If working with America's #1 online lender matters to you, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance, but they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
7:07. Let's get an update on the roads now. Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center time. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. And Aurora, visibilities are under a quarter mile. We have a small number of flight delays due to the fog. But west and northwest of Chicago, as Mike, as you mentioned, it's really nasty on the roads with that combination of fog, freezing fog, and ice. There have been a number of crashes. The Edens runs 29 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 22. The Kennedy inbound delay started Cumberland. 46 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 22 from Montrose, 15 in the Express. Outbound an hour and 4 minutes downtown to O'Hare. 26 minutes to get to Montrose. The Eisenhower, 56 minutes from 390 to downtown. 40 from Manheim. Outbound 47 to 390. Stevenson, 57 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 44. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 24 minutes. I-80 to Converge. Bishop 427. Tri-State southbound now heavy, 120 to 137. Northbound, 83rd Street toll to 47th. The Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, and 190 to the Adams Tollway. The other tollways have some delays too. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Patchy fog for the morning, then clouds will give way to some sun for the day. High 44. Patchy clouds through the night tonight with a low 34. Tomorrow, some sun to start, then clouds increasing throughout the day with a couple of showers late at night. High 47, low 43. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 32 at O'Hare, 35 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Amy, do you allow your boys, Peyton and Eli, to be friends with white people?
Yes, I do.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
You think that's a good idea?
I think it's a wonderful idea.
Well, this, I misidentified, sorry, in the T's, Iowa. I was thinking Iowa for some reason.
Because you were looking at me.
Yeah, and you embody the University of Iowa, there's no question.
My spelling.
Ikau Yanka, I hope I'm pronouncing the name right.
From Iowa.
No, although he does say he grew up in the Midwest. But he is a law professor at Yeshiva University. In the New York Times over the weekend, can my children be friends with white people? I will teach my boys to have profound doubts that friendship with white people is possible. When they ask, I will teach my sons that their beautiful hue is a fault line. Smear me platitudes of how we are all the same on the inside. I first have to keep my boys safe, and so I will teach them before the world shows them this particular brand of rending, violent, often fatal betrayal. This is a focus on Trump and Trump voters in particular.
Mm-hmm.
For many weary minorities, the ridiculous thing was thinking friendship was possible in the first place. It hurts only if you believe friendship could bridge the racial gorge. Talking about Trump voters. But the deepest rift is with the apologists, the good Trump voters, quote unquote. The white people who understand that Mr. Trump says unfortunate things but support him because they like what he says on jobs and taxes. They bristle at the accusation that they supported racism, insisting they had to ignore Trump's ugliness. Relying on everyday decency as a shield, they are befuddled at the chill that now separates them from black people in their offices and social circles. They protest, have I ever said anything racist? I do not write this with liberal condescension or glee. The professor goes on. My heart is unbearably heavy when I assure you we cannot be friends. White supporters and people of color can like one another, but real friendship, we can still all pretend we're friends. If meaningful civic friendship is impossible, we can make do with mere civility, sharing drinks, watching the game. I've not given up on being friends with all white people. My bi-ethnic wife, my most trusted friend, understands she is seen as a white woman, even though her brother and father are not. But he concludes, we cannot agree on our politics, but we can declare that we stand beside one another against cheap attack and devaluation. In the coming years, when my boys ask their questions about who can be their best friend, I pray for a more hopeful answer. Not possible to truly be friends with white people, particularly white Trump voters. That's a law professor at the Benjamin Cardozo School of Law at Yeshiva University. So there's his answer to the Rodney King question. Let's get more perspective on this. And for that, we're pleased to be joined by our friends, the lovely ladies, Diamond and Silk, host of The Viewer's View on YouTube. Diamond and Silk, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, my God. Thank you for having us.
So can African Americans be friends with white people in Trump's America, Diamond and Silk?
Yes, they can. You know, throughout this whole ordeal, we've been Trump supporters from the very beginning back in 2015. Mm-hmm. We've met people along the way, and we've become friends with people along the way that happen to be white. And these people genuinely care about Diamond and Silk. I mean, just like our brother or our sister. So shame on that professor. He needs to be fired. See, this is what this is spewing racism as far as I'm concerned. Why are you trying to segregate yourself?
That's right.
And then you want to blame the president, but you wrote the letter.
That's right.
You wrote the letter, want to segregate yourself from Trump supporters.
That's right. And it's ignorance like this that keep the racial divide in this country. When people take and allow themselves to stay stuck in the pains of their ancestor instead of coming to the present of being an American first, you segregate and you separate your own self as a black person.
Mm-hmm. That's what you do. And then you want to blame the president. Don't blame the president for your foolishness.
That's right.
You did this, all of this here. It is sad. It is sick. This is sick. This is sad. This is sick. And you know what? I hate to call black people minorities because minority mean less than, but it's sad that minorities is falling for the okie doke.
That's right.
I'm not going to fall for it because I'm not living in an American. I'm an American. Okay? And if anybody ever try to make me feel less than, I get them straight.
That's right.
Okay? And keep it moving. I don't focus on all of this little bit of this and that and this and I'm not focusing on all of that foolishness.
That's
and
right.
They should stop focusing on that foolishness. And whoever this professor is, he needs to be fired because look at what he's teaching those students.
That's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's
yes.
right.
Mm-hmm. Ladies, have to ask about Roy Moore. Do you think he should stay or he should go? How are you feeling this morning?
Listen, he is innocent until proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That was what they said 30, 40 years ago. Now, this is what we don't understand. This man has been in the public service. He's served for over 30 years. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, 3 or 4 weeks before he's due to win this come out. Now, it has been alleged that the girl that said all of this, made these accusations, she is probably going to be, they told her that she may be offered a book deal with a $500,000 advancement. But here's my thing. If the public, and this is all alleged with the girl, but if the public is going to crucify him and convict him and find him guilty, well, then let's look at the mother of the 14-year-old girl. Because in my mind, what was a 14-year-old girl doing in a truck with a 30-some-year-old man? And what was the mother? And if the mother knew about this, did you give your daughter permission to be in a truck with a 30-some-year-old man? That's right. What I want to know.
And on another note, if you are a pedophile, you're not going to start pedophiling at the age of 32 and then stop. A pedophile have a record. This man have had opposition research done against him in the last 30, 40 years, and now they wait till now.
And he also has more than one
I heard
victim.
that the girl was a Clinton supporter.
That's
and
right.
she had all kinds of anti-Trump messages on her Facebook.
No, she admitted that she voted for President Trump.
Politics is. You know how they do things.
That's right.
But here's the thing. I guess my question is, setting aside the accusers for a second, do you believe, I'm sure you heard Roy Moore's interview with Sean Hannity back on Friday. Do you believe Roy Moore's denial, setting aside your suspicion of the D.C. press corps, do you believe Roy Moore's response to these allegations?
The only thing I can do is take his word. I cannot see. This is the thing. You cannot take and be biased towards someone because you're judging that person.
Right.
I'm not the judge of the jury. I'm only on one side, and that's the truth. Now, if he did if these allegations are true, then he needs to step down. Okay. Right. But if he didn't do this here, and this is some type of some political hack that's creating all of this here chaos,
that's right,
a smear campaign, then what do we do with that?
That's right. This is the tactics, and this is what they've always done. Look at how they did President Trump back almost a month right before he was due to win the presidency. This is part of the Democrat playbook, along with some in the GOP playbook. They do this because their good old boy, didn't win, and they would prefer to see a Democrat win versus another Republican win because it's part of the political game.
That's right, and you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. It's he say, she say. Now, if we come out with some proof that Roy Moore, he is this, whatever they're making him out to be, he needs to step down and go somewhere and sit down.
That's right.
But we have to have proof. And that's just like if somebody came and told me something about you, Dan, I can't hop on that and start spreading that as if that's true. And we don't know if there's no truth. That's he say, she say. He say, she say. It's not reference.
And allegations and accusations without accurate information is not going to get it.
That's right.
So he served it, went to West Point, served in Vietnam, came back home, and dated younger women. And people are so aghast and think that that's so crazy. That happens all the time.
Hold up. Wait a minute, Amy. Okay, let me just say this here.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
that's right,
young girls went with older men.
It was customary.
It was customary back in the day. What they did back in the day, they wouldn't dare do now.
Right.
But they did certain things back in the day. Now, I don't know what Roy Moore was doing back in the day, but what I cannot do is tell him he's guilty or holler he's guilty of something and we don't know nothing about. This is a he say, she say situation. We cannot do that. That is wrong. Shame on those senators that's saying he needs to step down. I believe this girl. How do you know this girl is telling the truth?
That's right.
You don't know if she's being truthful or not. I'm just looking at some of the stuff that they got wrong. The mother got wrong.
Right.
The mother said that somebody said that he called the girl. Come to find out, the girl and she had a telephone in her bedroom. Come to find out that wasn't true, and we will say allegedly. I mean, listen. Before we hop on this here and crucify somebody, make sure we know what we're talking about.
That's right.
And that's on both sides. If this happened to this young girl, he needs to step down.
That's right.
But what if this didn't even happen? What if this? Then what? We done messed up his legacy, who he was. This man was a judge. And you mean to tell me this come out right now? No, wait a minute, hold up. Before I jump on anything like that, wait a minute, let me back up. Let me wait. Now, he didn't impress me when he was talking to Sean Hannity. I can't believe he don't know how to talk. He needed somebody like Diamond and Sip to talk for him.
I know. Just own it. Be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I was like many men, and I dated younger women.
And
instead, he danced around the subject and didn't do himself any favors.
Well, maybe he just didn't want to say. But the deal is, back in the day was a totally different day than what it is today.
That's right.
14-year-old, listen, I know a 14-year-old that had a baby from a man that she married, and the man was way older than she was. That kind of stuff happened back in the day.
Elvis Presley, Priscilla Presley, she was 14.
Jerry Lee Lewis. Yeah, but it's still
it's
still statutory rape. I mean, it's still it's not defensible.
Back in the day, and nobody said anything.
That's right.
Okay, this is a whole new day, and this look. Look, you all. He is innocent until they prove him guilty. Now, if they prove him guilty, hecky, yeah, he needs to step down.
Yeah.
Yes, he needs to step down. Now, how did he serve the public for all of these years?
That's right.
With him having this on him, with him doing this.
But we can't prosecute him under speculations. Right now, we're just speculating. What if? Well, he said this and she said that. We don't know for sure. We wasn't there in the car. We don't know for sure.
That's
so
right.
if you don't know your facts, Jack, then shut the hell up.
That's right.
All right.
That's what you have to do. And then I see here the news media. They keep hollering about Roy Moore. But what about all of these pedophiles and these? Look at these. Look at what's happening to Hollywood. Actors, producers being accused of pedophilia and sexually assaulting people. Oh, this is so sick and so. But you hear that they just keep that under the rug.
Well, but
the Obama administration took millions of dollars from Hollywood and pushed what Hollywood wanted.
Yeah.
This is the hypocrisy here is real.
But now
jumping on the bandwagon with destroying somebody's livelihood, or career based on the accusation. Bring me some proof. When they brought proof about Harvey Weinstein, that was a wrap. When we heard that video, how he was trying to lure that girl in his room, that was a wrap for me.
That's right. And when we saw the proof on Bill Clinton, that was a wrap.
That was a wrap.
That's right.
all right, they are Diamond and Silk, perhaps soon to be contacted by Roy Moore for Senate. We'll see. Diamond and Silk, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
And the ladies joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, this is Jeff from Basement Flood Protector. Finishing a basement requires a tremendous amount of time and money, transforming concrete walls into living space better suited for children playing, friends watching football, or just hanging out. But how many of you made the investment in a sump pump system that ensures the protection of your new living space in the event of heavy rains, mechanical failures, and power outages? You went from concrete to carpet, maybe concrete to hardwood, and in the event of a flood, you're going to go from squeegee to replacing floors. However, by joining our network of 25,000 customers, you will enjoy the same peace of mind knowing your basement is safe regardless of weather conditions because of early warning mechanisms and simply having equipment that just works as expected. We are Basement Flood Protector. Protecting homes from flooding is all we do. I invite you to call today at 800-238-0822 or visit don'tflood.com to learn more and for no-nonsense pricing. That's 800-238-0822 or don'tflood.com. Use the call letters of this station for a 5% discount.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews in our Against the Current series. This week, still featuring Kevin Williamson from National Review, but forthcoming, my sit-downs with both Dinesh D'Souza and Colonel Oliver North from our Freedom Fest on Saturday. You're going to want to hear those interviews. They were excellent, both gentlemen.
It's Freedom Palooza.
Freedom Palooza, excuse me. I
Freedom
can never
Fest.
keep up with the titles.
Freedom Summit.
Freedom Summit, Freedom Fest, Freedom Palooza.
It just smelled like freedom. It was a great event.
And I'm not in the marketing department. I don't pay attention to these things. As well, those long-form interviews, we've got a podcast for Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics, 60 Seconds of Sanity, commentaries from me, 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes at Illinois Opportunity Project, Man on the Street, Follow the Logic interviews, as well as Heart of the Matter, our series featuring professional women speaking collegially about the important issues of the day.
Hey, who was in the Superman suit or the
that Iron Man suit or whatever?
Iron Man suit. Yeah, what was that?
I don't know.
Who was that?
I was
you?
I was afraid, so I just steered clear of that. Yeah, I don't know. It's never
he rocked it all day and all night though.
It's never dull at Freedom Fair
Summit.
or whatever it's called. And don't forget our Don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, property tax reports, free property tax report on your home, what the highest property taxes in the nation are doing to its value, and a petition you can download to help us get the signatures we need for an advisory ballot question on the 2018 ballot, advisory referendum question on the 2018 ballot that would seek to mirror Illinois' property tax system after Indiana's. DefendHomeowners.com for the property tax info, upstream-ideas.com for everything else.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com.
Did you know 40% of all cancer could be prevented? That's a fact. Along with maintaining appropriate body weight and regular exercise, the American Institute for Cancer Research and the USDA confirm that eating 9 to 11 servings of fruits and vegetables every day is the key. Now ask yourself, am I at risk? How many servings of fruits and vegetables did I eat today? Balance of Nature has solved this problem and provides an easy and affordable way to consume over 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables every day.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Call now, 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
For the very best in promotional products for your business.
For the latest promotional trends.
For attracting customers to your logo like a magnet.
For on-time delivery of high-quality items with your logo.
For personal service.
For Imprint, the nation's leading team to unleash your logo on your choice of thousands of promotional items. And right now, you can get a coupon for 10% off your next promotional order at For Imprint by texting the word PRO to 88988.
For empowering your logo at your next trade show.
For making a lasting impression.
For rewarding employees.
For free art assistance.
For making your logo shine.
The experts at For Imprint are ready to help.
For thousands of promotional items.
For popular brands.
For exclusive items.
For your 100% satisfaction.
For Imprint.
For a 10% off coupon for your next promotional order, text PRO to 88988. That's a 10% off coupon for your next promotional order by texting PRO to 88988.
Are you buying or selling a business or starting a business? Maybe you have legal problems with a business partner or employees, or are just drowning in new regulations. You need the support of a law firm that concentrates in a wide range of business law and tax matters. You need the corporate team at Kelleher & Buckley. Whether you're a local mom and pop shop, middle market business, or a large corporation or franchise, they provide cost-effective legal solutions to help your businesses thrive. The lawyers of Kelleher & Buckley focus on targeted legal advice tailored to meet the specific needs of your business. You deserve competent legal representation from a law firm maintaining a high level of knowledge about the ever-changing laws governing businesses. One that also includes accountants and tax specialists on board to provide your business bottom-line solutions. Kelleher & Buckley, LLC of North Barrington and Chicago is a legal solution provider that also includes estate planning, asset protection, life insurance planning, and litigation. Keep your business on track. Call 847-382-9130 or online at kelleherbuckley.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-700-1368. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-700-1368. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-700-1368. 1-800-700-1368.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning News.
Have you seen Sammy Sosa, by the way?
What? It's making me nauseous. I can't look at it.
He was spotted in London, even dabbed for one of the pictures, and he's a full white guy now.
Yeah, he said he's happy. He doesn't like the fact that people compare him to Michael Jackson. He said he uses a cream every night to soften his skin, and there's a bleaching agent in it. But also, he must be bathing in it because his hands are white. Everything's white. And honestly, I feel nauseous looking at that picture.
They're not comparing him to Michael Jackson. They're comparing him to the Dominican Jay Leno. This is what he looks like. All right, coming up, we're going to pick up the conversation we started with Diamond and Silk. To Hollywood celebrities who have not conceded their bad behavior also deserve the benefit of the doubt, like Roy Moore at 7:37.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Our good friend Mike Scott is back, healthy, happy, and ready to go.
Well, thank you, Dan and Amy. 34 degrees. Skies are partly sunny officially, but the heavy, dense fog in the area blocking our look at the sun this morning, and some of that fog is freezing this morning. Violence and deaths that marked the drug war in the Philippines, not brought up by President Donald Trump when he met with that nation's president during the ongoing Asian tour. Well, the president generally does not press foreign leaders on human rights issues, but the White House suggests Trump's flattery of Rodrigo Duterte may be meant to keep the Philippines from developing ever stronger ties with China. Powerful 7.3 earthquake that struck the Iran-Iraq border has killed 340 in both countries. NBC Tehran Bureau Chief Ali Arouzi says rural areas were heavily damaged.
Now, officials here expect the casualty to rise as search and rescue teams reach remote areas affected by the earthquake.
6,000 have been injured in that 7.3 earthquake. Alabama Republican Roy Moore says a lawsuit will be filed over the newspaper report carrying allegations that he had sexual contact with a 14-year-old girl 4 decades ago. Moore assuring supporters last night in Huntsville, Alabama, the Washington Post story was fake news.
Because there are groups that don't want me at the United States Senate. There's the Democrat Party. They don't want to see me at the United States Senate. There's the Republican establishment, which has spent over $30 million to keep me out of this.
Moore facing Democrat Doug Jones in the December 12th general election. Foggy skies could lead to difficult driving conditions as the National Weather Service issues a dense fog advisory until 10 a.m., especially for McHenry, Kane, and DeKalb counties. One man wounded, shot during an attempted robbery near the DePaul University campus. It happened in the 900 block of West Fullerton last night. Police are looking for the person who swiped a vehicle in Wheeling with a woman and her 2 young children inside. The vehicle taken yesterday at Milwaukee Avenue and Dundee Road. The victims found later that night after the suspect ditched them in the city of Chicago. That vehicle has not yet been recovered. Packers over the Bears, 23-16 at Soldier Field. Devils over the Blackhawks, 7-5. The news, a service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. 4,000 ASE certified technicians at Firestone Complete Auto Care have the state-of-the-art tools to keep your car running newer, longer. Come in today and get $100 off any purchase of $500 or more. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Republican establishment isn't struggling because Trump is dishonest or mean.
The Joe Walsh Show.
They're struggling because people like Flake and Corker no longer understand their own voters and are using Trump as a scapegoat. That's fine with me. This division is a good thing. The division is waking the American people up and getting them mad.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This is what draining the swamp looks like.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at galaxyhome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
Message and data rates may apply.
Sick of hair loss, thinning hair, bald spots? Ever thought about hair restoration? It's a life-changing decision. Thankfully, the first step is incredibly easy and absolutely free because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, is giving away an absolutely free information kit that reveals just how easy and affordable their permanent solution to hair loss really is. Get yours by texting WOW to 85850. You'll see for free just how great your hair could look. Plus, we'll also give you a free gift card when you text WOW to 85850. Join the men and women all over the country who have come to Bosley, the world's most experienced hair restoration expert, for their permanent solution to hair loss. If you've ever thought about getting your hair back, don't miss this incredible offer. We're giving away an invaluable information kit absolutely free, plus a gift card for $250 off to everyone who texts WOW to 85850. That's WOW to 85850.
7:36 and a check of your morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Let's get the very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the Edens, inbound delays are from Tooele to Montrose. It's 29 minutes. Lake Cook to Junction, outbound 22. Kennedy, 52 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound an hour and 4 minutes. The Eisenhower, 58 minutes. 390 to downtown, outbound 51. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 43 minutes. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, slow 21 to 176. Northbound Harlem to Ogden. From the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, and from the O'Hare Oasis to the Adams Tollway. It's about Adams Tollway stop and go lead to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway, Farnsworth to Eola. Winfield to 355 and 22nd of the Eisenhower. Veterans Memorial, it's slow going I-55 most to the way to Roosevelt. And Army Trail to 290, 53. Slow northbound Algonquin to Kirchhoff, southbound Rand to Kirchhoff. Traffic service of Indeed.com. You hiring? Join the over 3 million businesses that use Indeed.com for hiring. You can post a job in minutes and manage your candidates from an easy-to-use dashboard. Post your next job on the world's #1 job site, Indeed.com. That's traffic on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Areas of heavy, dense fog this morning, especially to the north and west of the city. Chilly throughout the day. Clouds will break later in the afternoon with a high near 43. Patchy clouds and 34 overnight. Again, that heavy, dense fog advisory. Temperatures west of DeKalb have dropped off into the mid-20s. It's 32 at O'Hare right now, but 26 in Aurora. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Say it ain't so, George Bluth Sr. I guess Arrested Development was more than just a title of a show, wasn't it? Jeffrey Tambor accused of sexual harassment claims and by the way, this reported in the Chicago Tribune was just absurd. I don't know who this Katie Hallbaker is, but why sexual harassment claims against Jeffrey Tambor hit especially hard. You know, remember Jeffrey Tambor from Arrested Development, Larry Sanders Show, really good character actor. But he was given high praise when he got an Emmy for lead actor in this series called Transparent. While the producers of Transparent rightfully received criticism for casting Tambor, a cisgender man, as the trans woman at the heart of the show, the actor made a point of using his status as a straight white man to advocate for the rights of queer folks. Please give transgender talent a chance, Tambor told the audience after winning a 2016 Emmy for lead actor in that comedy. Give them auditions, give them their story, do that. Oh, boy, the fall of a cisgender man playing a trans woman taking a job from an actual trans woman, if there is. Well, this is spinning. So complicated. But Tambor, Steven Seagal, Jan Wenner, Rolling Stone, George Takei.
Oh, not George Takei.
Oh, George Takei.
George
Takei from Star Trek. Yeah. George Takei was on Howard Stern. Listen to this. You think you heard some creepy things from Roy Moore in terms of his interview with cringeworthy moments in his interview with Sean Hannity. Listen to George Takei on Howard Stern.
Did you ever grab anyone by the against their will? Oh, no. Well, they were different times.
Or something?
You never sexually harassed anyone.
Hey,
have you?
Oh, my goodness. You've got such a beautiful...
Oh, dear.
It's some people that are kind of skittish.
Right.
Or maybe afraid. And you're trying to persuade. But,
do we need to call the police?
What is he saying, Howard?
What are you saying, George? In other words, they were taught, but you never held a job over someone if they didn't.
No, I never did that.
Oh,
no.
I see. What did you do?
That's what this is all about.
Situations, though?
It's not about sex. It's about power.
Right.
I see.
It's about power.
But you didn't do this grabbing at work.
Oh, no, it wasn't at work.
Oh, good.
It was either in my home.
Oh, okay.
They came to my home.
Yeah, so sexual assault in the privacy of your own home.
That's okay. And I didn't use it to,
wow,
lord over anyone.
Wow.
Well, wait, when was that interview?
Just recently.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm sure this new Los Angeles County District Attorney Task Force is going to take that interview into account because they formed this new task force on Thursday to investigate all allegations of sexual assault in the entertainment industry.
Now, George Takei accused of sexual assault by former actor and model Scott Brunton, saying the incident occurred back in 1981 when he was beginning his career in Hollywood. Brunton was 23, Takei was 43 or 44 years old. And,
Roy Moore.
Yeah, so there we go. And then, of course, the highest profile in the last several days, and there's so many, Louis C.K.
I think he's disgusting. I've always thought he was gross.
Well, he didn't offer much of a letter of contrition.
Yeah, did you read it? Wasn't it great?
This is Louis C.K.'s apology for, and saying, by the way, the stories about him masturbating in front of women who were auditioning to be on his show.
They're true.
True story.
Yeah.
These stories are true, said Louis C.K. At the time, I said to myself that what I did was okay because I never showed a woman my unit without asking first, which is also true.
Well,
is that okay?
Shock.
Are you allowed in the context of, hey, come back to my place, let's hang out, or
watch me hang out?
In the or in the context of an audition, hey, do you mind if I whip this thing out? And if they say yes, then, then now, see, he didn't understand back then that was inappropriate. Now he understands. It's a predicament for them, the women, says Louis C.K. in his letter of contrition. The power I had over these women is that they admired me, and I wielded the power, among other things, irresponsibly. I've been remorseful for my actions. I've tried to learn from them and run from them. Now I'm aware of the extent of the impact of my actions and blah, 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 blah. And he goes on to talk about his regret and his 2 daughters.
Oh, that's right. He's got kids.
But he's getting savaged by the left. In Slate, Louis C.K.'s masturbation statement unnervingly misunderstands the concept of consent. New York Daily News, Louis C.K.'s horrible apology for masturbating in front of women not accepted. Boy, the left cannibalizing the left here. Nobody knows when you have a bunch of people that are just squirming bags of appetites. Nobody knows where the moral center is, do they? It's very interesting.
But it's weird. We should have known by his work on stage and with these HBO and Netflix specials that he joked about masturbating all the time. But also, too, he joked about how men treated women.
How do women still go out with guys when you consider the fact that there is no greater threat to women than men? We're the #1 threat to women. But women still think, yeah, I'll go out with you alone at night. What are you, nuts? I'll get in your car with you with my little shoulders. Hi, where are we going? To your death, statistically.
I never thought he was funny.
Well, he was clearly projecting, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see this meltdown. Thousands in the Me Too march in Hollywood. A Me Too march in Hollywood against sexual abuse yesterday. Yeah, support victims of sexual assault and harassment. We'll
find out this week about the grand jury that is formed.
Possible indictment of the human stain this week.
Yep, that's possible. And now that this new task force is forming, Corey Feldman, his accuser, may be taken down as well. So they're taking it seriously. At least it seems that they are. But we'll see if any charges come of it.
Chip in St. Charles.
I think what we're seeing here is we're seeing a change in our culture where Harvey Weinstein and like this Louis C.K. guy, they're pushing the edges of the envelope, and they're trying to make it so that public masturbation will soon be an accepted act, and you'll be walking down the sidewalk pretty soon. And some sort of sicko is going to be there, rubbing one out while.
Yeah.
You know what?
Maybe in West Hollywood. Thanks for the call, Chip. Bob in Waukegan.
Yeah, I've got the trilogy going here to pull your last segment together with this one. First of all, I've lost my damn train of thought now. You've got President Trump telling people that powerful men can go up and grab women and do whatever they want to, and he gets crucified for it, and Hollywood proves it. And Louis C.K., he's a total douchebag, actually. My son is really sweet on him, and he goes, yeah, Dad, you should watch it. So I pulled up Netflix and watched a few of them. The guy nauseates me. But you have to admit, he's the only person who's come forward and said, yeah, it's true. Get the drum roll ready. He's the only person who hasn't beat around the bush.
Thanks, Bob.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
By the time I reached 1 year period, I had lost 2 inches off my waist, and I lost 17 pounds.
I think they're part of the reason that I was able to shake 10 pounds, and I think because the support, nutritional support. My blood pressure significantly is so low now compared to what it was. I think I'm doing great with it.
You've got a good product. It's just amazing.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Order today.
Amy, my idea was to have Louis C.K. extradited to Cook County Jail so he could be on the receiving end of that.
Stop it. Looking for that magical holiday gift and not sure where to go? Well, I have the perfect place. Give a gift from Roland Jewelers and create that magical holiday moment. Buying jewelry is about trust, and Roland's Jewelers is downtown Libertyville is the place you can trust. Roland's is excited to offer AM 560 listeners special savings up to $500 on designer brands like Mickey Motu. Gosh, I probably butchered that. John Hardy and Roberto Coin. Save on luxury watches like Tag, Heuer, Hoyer, Michelle, and Shinola.
Just say Rolex and move on.
If you're thinking about getting engaged, Roland has beautiful designer engagement rings that are a direct diamond importer, so you benefit from wholesale prices on perfectly cut loose diamonds. So visit Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville, and as an AM 560 listener, save up to $500 this holiday season. Visit RolandsJewelers.com or call 847-918-7300. Trust Roland's for all your magical gift giving this holiday. Roland's Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
2 strong banking teams have united to help you continue to grow your business with the same dedication and even more opportunities. And we have a new name. The private bank is now CIBC. The same team you know and trust now brings deeper resources, global banking reach, and the power to help your business seize new opportunities. Our name may have changed, but our commitment to your business is now stronger than ever. Visit us at cibc.com/US. Member FDIC.
There's nothing like it. The smell of a tailgate, the chill in the air, the roar of the crowd. The only thing better than game day with your favorite team is when it all ends with a win. Touchdown NIU. Hear it all right here on the Husky Sports Network.
It's the Huskies and the Western Michigan Broncos this Wednesday night at 6. Hear every hit, celebrate every victory right here on AM 560. The Answer. AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, doing a full reversal from our discussion of Hollywood to our next guest and the organization she represents. We just celebrated Veterans Day along with Amy's birthday on Saturday.
It's all about the veterans. And your dad's birthday, and it was Andrew's birthday, or Peyton's birthday as well.
Wow, a lot of birthdays. The Marine Corps birthday just before that. And so, of course, veterans need our support the rest of the days of the year as well. And one organization providing support for America's hospitalized veterans in particular, and doing so in a creative way, is Pinup for Vets. Pinup for Vets. It's a particular kind of calendar project. I wonder if you can discern what kind. And to explain about the organization and what they do and how they help, we're pleased to be joined by its founder, Gina Elise. Gina, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
So tell us about Pinup for Vets, which you started about a dozen years ago, and how the organization has progressed and how you aim to serve America's hospitalized veterans.
Sure. So it was basically back in 2006. There were a lot of stories coming out in the news about veterans, coming back needing medical care. And I just really wanted to do something to help out, something creative. I've always been a huge fan of pinup nose art. They used to paint these beautiful women on the sides of aircraft during World War II to boost the morale of the troops, remind them of back home, and sort of act as a symbol of hope. And I thought I would take that concept and bring it into today to create a fundraising pinup calendar that we could use to raise money and buy rehab equipment for VA hospitals around the U.S. And so that was sort of my idea back in 2006. And fast forward 12 years, and we've donated over $56,000 worth of rehab equipment to different VA hospitals. And now we're in the middle of a 50-state hospital tour where we dress up as 1940s pinups and deliver our calendars as gifts of appreciation to the hospitalized veterans, to let them know how much we appreciate their service and sacrifice.
So if I was willing to dress up as like Olivia de Havilland from, the golden age of Hollywood, could I be in the calendar?
That's what I was going to say.
It's actually hot. So the interesting thing about our calendar is that it features veterans. So this year, it features 21 female veterans. We've honestly also featured male veterans. So, yeah, that's kind of the special thing about it is that, when we're in the hospital and we're all dressed up in our 1940s garb, and we'll talk to the patients and we'll say, well, she's a veteran too. And they'll say, wait, she's a veteran? Yeah, she's a veteran. And so then they'll start talking about, oh, where did you serve? Where did you serve? And there's that instant brotherhood, sisterhood, that veteran-to-veteran bond that's really, really special to see.
Well, I love how you capture the 1940s with your outfits and your makeup and your hair, and it's fascinating. You got involved, too, because your grandpa served in the Army during World War II, right?
Yeah. My grandfather was an Army veteran, World War II, and so that was part of the inspiration for the organization. And I wanted to do something really creative as a way to give back to our troops and veterans. And as you guys just mentioned, Veterans Day was a couple days ago, as well as the Marine Corps birthday. So, I do think it's so important for us to not forget, what our troops are doing, what our veterans have done for our country. And so it's really our own special way to give back. And the interesting thing, something that we do on the website, which is pinupsforvets.com, if your listeners want to support, but they can buy a calendar for themselves, or they can also purchase one for us to deliver on one of our upcoming hospital visits. We also have another option to purchase one for deployed service members. There's lots of units around the world, deployed units, that are requesting a sort of a morale boost. So they also make really great holiday gifts.
Sure.
Mention that?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to mention the stocking stuffer component. No question about it.
Yeah.
Pinupforvets.com, again, is the website. And so the calendars, do you take ideas from veterans, too, about, I mean, you know, within the bounds of decency, of course, about the kind of calendars they want, those veterans that have received them and really like them, and the feedback that you get?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We always take so much feedback.
They want more Gina.
Yeah, right.
They really like the classic cars, the vintage aircraft. So we try to be really authentic to the 1940s aesthetic and style. And so, you know, we always try to incorporate our supporters' comments for sure.
All right. She is Gina Elise. She is the founder of Pinup for Vets, pinupforvets.com. I also just tweeted out their Twitter handle, so you can get them on social media as well. Gina Elise, thanks so much for joining us, and appreciate your organization's good work, and we'll look forward to future calendars.
Thank you so much.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Savings based on 2-year protection plan compared to T-Mobile premium device protection as of July 12, 2017. Square Trade does not cover lost or stolen items. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting a new phone? Get this. Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our phone. So, protecting your phone is a smart idea. But phone insurance through your wireless carrier can cost as much as $15 every month. Switch to Square Trade phone protection instead, for half the cost of insurance through your wireless carrier. And you could save $200 or more. It's like protecting 2 phones for the price of 1. Square Trade covers accidents like drops and spills with easy same-day repair options. Part of the Allstate family, we're trusted by over 30 million customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And switching to Square Trade is easy. How else can you save $200 in 10 minutes? So don't wait. Switch today.
Switch to Square Trade now and you can save over $200. Visit squaretrade.com. That's squaretrade.com.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com.
Do you have sleep apnea? Are you tired of dragging your big, bulky CPAP device with you whenever you leave home? Yeah, well, I was too. That's why I'm so glad I called to try the Transcend Mini CPAP for 10 nights. I can't imagine living without it now. My Transcend is smaller than a soda can and weighs less than a pound. That's less hassle to carry than my shaving kit. Plus, I was able to add a battery pack that's as tiny as a deck of cards. But hey, that's not all. Transcend is FAA compliant, too, which means I can finally sleep comfortably while flying. Heck, I can sleep comfortably anywhere now. So if that all sounds good to you, call now to give Transcend a try. You'll be glad you did.
Experience the life-changing freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. To receive your risk-free 10-night trial, call now. 1-800-400-8168. Again, that's 1-800-400-8168. 1-800-400-8168.
What's happening? What does it mean? Why is it important? We've got the answer. AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
He says he made more progress than we know. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and President Trump also says he's got a lot of respect on his Asian trip.
Red carpet like nobody, I think, has probably ever received.
And he says he'll make a major trade announcement when he gets home Wednesday. He's in his last stop, the Philippines. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
In his first face-to-face meeting with Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte, President Trump said that he had a great relationship with the man accused of carrying out a campaign of extrajudicial killings in his nation's war on drugs.
I'm here to advance peace, to promote security, and to work with you to achieve a truly free and open Indo-Pacific.
Duterte's spokesman denied that the subject of human rights was ever broached, but White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders said human rights briefly came up in the context of the Philippines' fight against illegal drugs. Dave?
John, a powerful earthquake has devastated Iran near the Iraqi border. At least 355 people are dead, more than 4,000 injured.
Chaotic scenes at hospitals as doctors try and help survivors. The magnitude 7.3 earthquake was felt in a number of Middle Eastern countries, but Iran is hardest hit. State TV saying there's heavy damage in some villages. People are trapped under buildings.
Fox's Simon Owen. Roy Moore's fighting mad over the Washington Post story. A month before the special Senate election in Alabama, that decades ago the Republican candidate groped a 14-year-old girl.
Completely false and untrue, and for which they will be sued.
Moore telling supporters last night in Huntsville he'll sue the Post over the fake news, but other Republicans are not on his side. Senator Pat Toomey tells NBC.
I have to say, I think the accusations have more credibility than the denial. I think it would be best if Roy would just step aside.
Drama at the Mall of America last night in Minneapolis. Inside a Macy's dressing room, a man confronted someone trying to steal his stuff and got stabbed. A second man intervened and got stabbed too. Both have injuries not considered life-threatening. The attackers in custody. Fox News, fair and balanced.
34 degrees, partly sunny skies. 8:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Foggy skies leading to difficult driving conditions this morning. In many parts of Chicagoland, a dense fog advisory is up until 10 a.m. Wet and slick conditions reported in McHenry, Kane, and DeKalb counties. One man wounded, shot during an attempted robbery near the DePaul University campus on Chicago's north side. The victim, according to Chicago police, was in an alley in the 900 block of West Fullerton when someone walked up and tried to rob him. During that confrontation, the victim was shot. He's hospitalized in stable condition. Police are looking for the person who stole a vehicle in Wheeling with a woman and her 2 young children inside. The vehicle was taken near a Walgreens at Milwaukee and Dundee Road. The victims found later after the suspect ditched the victims in Chicago. That vehicle has not yet been recovered. Family and friends saddened after an elderly woman died in a fire on Chicago's west side. Dorsey Calhoun was rescued from the second floor of a burning building near 15th and South Central Park, later pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. The FAA continues their investigation into a small plane crash in north suburban Grays Lake. Pilot landed in a farm field just short of the runway of Campbell Airport. Packers beat the Bears 23-16 at Soldier Field. Devils over the Blackhawks 7-5. The news is a service of Office Depot, Office Max. You've been taking care of business all year long, so let Office Depot, Office Max take care of you. Treat yourself to great deals on tech and furniture, like maybe a new laptop, or replace that squeaky chair. You deserve it. Office Depot, Office Max, taking care of business. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro. Here is Carol Zimmer.
From the Fox Business Network, SoftBank is buying a chunk of Uber in a deal that could be worth as much as $10 billion. An investor group led by Japanese conglomerate SoftBank would bring an infusion of cash to Uber as it competes with rival Lyft. After a disastrous quarter, General Electric is planning big changes. It's cutting its dividend in half from 24 cents to 12 cents. Plus, the new CEO wants to focus on shaking up 3 of the company's biggest business lines. Weight Watchers can thank Oprah for the boost. In the past 2 years, since Oprah became the company's 3rd biggest shareholder, shares are up about 20%. Plus, more people are subscribing to the weight loss company. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Carol Zimmer.
It's 8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Hi, this is Jeff from Basement Flood Protector. We have the pleasure of protecting over 25,000 of your homes with our innovative and proven line of protection solutions. Our customers enjoy peace of mind knowing their homes are safe regardless of weather conditions. They enjoy peace of mind knowing our solutions provide the early warning mechanisms required to fend off problems in advance. And they enjoy peace of mind knowing when called upon, our solutions will come to the forefront and operate as expected. Have you ever received an email or phone call from your sump pump warning you of an error or potential problem? Our customers have. Like us, our customers believe technology does not have to end at the top of the basement stairs, and they rely on our technology to protect their personal belongings that they care so deeply about. We are Basement Flood Protector. Protecting homes from flooding is all we do. I invite you to call today at 800-238-0822 or visit don'tflood.com to learn more and for no-nonsense pricing. That's 800-238-0822 or don'tflood.com. Use the call letters of this station for a 5% discount.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling that you're safe to enjoy the things that matter most. ADT lets you take that feeling with you, whether you're at home, your business, or online. We help keep you safe with security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling for less than $1 a day. ADT. Home, safe home.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. Choosing the right mortgage lender involves much more than just a rate. Quicken Loans has earned 11 J.D. Power Awards for client satisfaction. And we invented Rocket Mortgage, a simpler, hassle-free way to get a mortgage completely online. No one else has anything like it. So choose Quicken Loans, America's #1 online lender. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030.
8:07, and a check of your roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. The very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Edens has lightened up. It's now just 21 minutes late Cook to Montrose, but outbound 39. Kennedy, an hour and 2 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 36 minutes from Montrose, 28 in the Express. Outbound 52 minutes to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, an hour and 15 minutes, 390 to downtown. 54 minutes from Manheim, outbound 56 to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 50 minutes. The ride from 95th to downtown is 27 minutes, Lakeshore Drive. Southbound slow Bryn Mawr to North Avenue, northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Southbound Tri-State delays 21 to 176. In Balmoral to the O'Hare Oasis, northbound 95th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Adams Tollway. Adams Tollway knotted up lead to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway 59 to Winfield. Veterans Memorial from Boughton most of the way to Roosevelt. And the Army Trail toll to 290. Southbound 53 very heavy ran to Kirchhoff. Northbound Algonquin to Kirchhoff. Eastbound 8094 is tight Broadway to I-65. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Chilly today with clouds giving way to some sun, high 44. Tonight, patchy clouds, low 34. Tomorrow, some sun, followed by clouds with a high 47. Showers at night, low 43. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Fog and 31 officially at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the truth of the foreclosure crisis. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and the situation with Roy Moore and the politics of allegations, even in this case, the most disturbing of allegations, essentially an allegation of sexual predation against Roy Moore with respect to a 14-year-old girl, the woman coming forward some 40 years after the fact to claimed that Roy Moore took advantage of her when he was in his 30s and she was 14 years old. Roy Moore went on Hannity's program on Friday to address the allegations, saying this.
Do you know Miss Korfman? Do you know the mother?
I don't know Miss Korfman from anybody. I've never talked to her, never had any contact with her. Allegations of sexual misconduct with her are completely false. I believe they're politically motivated. I believe they're brought only to stop a very successful campaign, and that's what they're doing. I've never known this woman or anything with regard to the other girls. You understand this is 40 years ago, and after my return from the military, I dated a lot of young ladies. I do recognize, however, the names of two of these young ladies, Debbie Wesson and Gloria Thacker, which they have a maiden, that's their maiden name.
Now, there's separate issues here. The 14-year-old is an issue that stands alone. Whether or not he dated 17 and 18-year-olds who were of legal age of consent at the time, and probably I think still are, frankly.
Yeah, age of consent 16, age of consent today still 16.
Okay.
Every state's different.
So the 14-year-old is out of bounds, and nobody disputes that, including Roy Moore. The 17 and 18-year-old, a lot of people think are out of bounds, not in a legal sense, but just in a
moral sense.
Yeah, propriety. And Roy Moore said he doesn't recall dating them. That would have been out of his normal customary conduct. But if he did, he did. He kind of equivocates when Sean Hannity asks him questions about the other two a couple of different ways during that interview. Now, it's interesting to know, gosh, once upon a time, a lot of people are suggesting back 40 years ago it was not uncommon for 17, 18, 19-year-old to be married and so on and so forth. How about in 1994? You remember this? This is not a defense of it. It's just a conversation about it and about culture and about social mores. The 1994, March 1994 cover of People magazine. Look who's in love. It's Jerry Seinfeld, age 39, and Shoshana Lonstein, age 18. Look who's in love. Jerry and Shoshana make an unlikely romance work. Right? Remember the Jerry Seinfeld, Shoshana? Yeah, remember that? I mean, it wasn't okay in some people's view, but in terms of
Elvis Presley dated Priscilla Presley. She was 14.
Jerry Lee Lewis, other examples, but I'm talking about even here. That's just a whole separate category. But Giant Jerry and Shoshana, this was seen as maybe unseemly in certain quarters, but not by People magazine. It
was celebrated.
That's almost 25 years ago now.
Yeah, but those were different times. Roy Moore had just gotten back from serving in Vietnam. Most of his friends were already married. He's a 32-year-old man. He can't date women his age because back then there were some reproductive issues. If you were an older woman, no, it's true. If you were an older woman, you had a more difficult time getting pregnant. And
okay,
I don't know if that's his reasoning, but just own up. You're an older man and you like to date younger women. A lot of people do that.
Here's what I think Roy Moore. I think Roy Moore was resistant to admit to dating teenagers in their late teens, legal, but in late teens, when he was in his early 30s, because I think he understands how it sounds in this day and age.
Right.
Now, there's an interesting piece by Eric Erickson that I wanted to get to. Eric Erickson, formerly of Red State. Yeah, evangelical. Pretty strong bona fides. Here's what he writes about this. And the piece is, I don't blame Roy Moore voters for sticking with him. He writes at the outset, here's what I think Roy Moore should do. If he continues to deny the allegations, he should hold a press conference, tell people he wants to clear his name, and in the interest of helping the president avoiding a Democrat, he will continue to campaign for the office, and then, if elected, resign so that the governor of Alabama can appoint his replacement so that he may focus on clearing his name. It's kind of an interesting middle ground that Erickson is trying to carve out for Roy Moore. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's an interesting middle ground he's trying to carve out.
Because if he wins it, he's staying. I mean, unless they refuse to seat him, I heard that's another possibility.
Well, sure.
So the governor could postpone the election, or if he does win the election, they could refuse to seat him, which I don't even know exactly what that means.
Well, yeah, there is that issue. This is an issue that arose with Roland Burris when he was appointed to the he was appointed by Blagojevich to that Senate seat, and there was all kinds of, obviously, controversy about quid pro quo surrounding that. So that was so this has been an issue that's arisen before. By the way, it's also relevant on the other side. Bob Menendez, who's awaiting a jury verdict on his corruption trial.
Haven't heard anything about that.
Very little coverage of it from the D.C. press corps. Dick Durbin was asked about it. Our own Sack of Durbin asked about it over the weekend, whether he would vote to remove Menendez if he's convicted on felony corruption charges.
Do the same.
If your colleague, Senator Bob Menendez, New Jersey Democrat, is convicted on the corruption charges, he's on trial right now, the jury is still deliberating, will you vote to expel him?
I'm not going to get into the hypotheticals on either of these situations. As I said, several steps removed. I'm hopeful that when all is said and done, that Bob Menendez will be returning to the Senate representing the state of New Jersey.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, in terms of the standards here, this is especially from partisan polls, this is partisan politics. And so you hear that there, as you expect to hear it from Durbin. But just going back to Erickson, but it was an important point you brought up about the seating issue. Erickson writes, I don't really blame Roy Moore voters for sticking with him. And I know they're going to come under withering attacks for standing by their man. They don't deserve it. Clearly, a lot of people would prefer to avoid dealing with how we got to this point of moral decay among conservatives who used to really believe character counted. But he goes on to say, a militant atheist shot up a church in Texas, killing about half the congregation. One of those killed was still in the womb, but the baby gets counted as a person to boost the arguments for gun control. Otherwise, the baby would just be a fetus. A week before, a Muslim ran over a bunch of people in New York while Democrats were patting themselves on the back for showing Trump voters running over Muslim kids on television, talking about the ad against Gillespie in Virginia. A week before that, a CBS lawyer lost her job for mocking the dead in Las Vegas that they deserved what they got after a mass shooting. He goes on, the cake baker case that's headed to the Supreme Court, people who are being harassed for refusing to cheer on men with mental illness who think they are women, and the left thinks people in Alabama should have to let men use the ladies' bathroom. So you'll have to excuse Trump voters and more voters for thinking the left in this country, with the complicit media, is out to get them. Essentially, they are. Along comes the story about Roy Moore, a happily married man that involves facts from 30 to 40 years ago. Many of the same people who spent a long time covering for people like Harvey Weinstein and are still covering for Hollywood pedophiles are piling on the man. The GOP, who hates cultural conservatives anyway, was also quick to pile on. I don't blame the Roy Moore voters for thinking people are out to get them, because people really are out to get them. Now, Erickson also said the facts as presented in the Washington Post piece are pretty damning. If I were a voter in Alabama, I'd probably have to sit it out. But there are a lot of voters who are really damn tired of the culture war, and they just want to be left alone, but the left won't leave them alone. They're coming for their church's tax-exempt status. They're coming to force them to get on board with the secular progressive agenda or go into hiding. They're coming for their kids and their guns as well. And so even if you're uncomfortable with the allegations against Roy Moore is as a conduit for the things I believe in versus what I know I'm going to get from the left, which is more, to borrow a phrase, predatory behavior in my direction in terms of my cultural values, the way I want to live my life, what I think about male and female relationships, gender, and everything else under the sun, private property, the ability to conduct my business consistent with my religious beliefs. All of that is under attack from the left, and I know that they're going to come for me. And if Roy Moore is all I've got standing between them and me, then I'm going to stick with Roy Moore unless the allegations are proven true.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm sticking with Roy Moore 100%, because people on the left too are painting him as a pedophile. No, if you are a child molester, and I only know this because I've interviewed convicted molesters, there's never just one. You don't start at one and stop at one. There's multiple victims. And what he did by courting these women, and one of the moms of the lady said, my mom thought he was good husband material. He asked permission from these he asked their mothers for permission to date them. They're painting him out to be some pedophile, child molester, and I don't think that he is.
Jane in Burr Ridge, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi. As someone who was molested at age 4, I have an interest in anything like this. But first, I want to say, Why did this woman wait until now to come forward? If my molester was in public life for 25 or 30 years, I would have been screaming about him long ago. And I want to say there are two things you can always count on in life. Number one, Democrats will do anything to steal an election. Any lie, any cheating, anything they can do. And number two, Republicans can be counted upon to run at the first whiff of any impropriety. I mean, look at Jack Ryan in our state.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Senator Stevens, who was exonerated.
Ted Stevens, yeah.
I mean, there are many examples, but look at the Democrats. They present Anthony Weiner. Anthony Weiner, as a mayoral candidate, Bill Clinton, they stand behind and revere. I mean, there are numerous examples on either side, and I'm so tired of the Republicans being so gutless.
Thanks for the call, Jane. By the way, a related story. Washington, D.C., City Council moving to erect a statue in honor of Marion Barry.
Oh, is it going to have some like white powder substance coming out of his pocket, or
I believe
in the hands?
I believe the plaque adorning the statue will read "Bitch Set Me Up." So that's nice for the kids to learn the history of D.C. politics. Brian in Chicago.
Dan, you're killing me, bro. It's because of people like you that the Democrats keep winning.
Yeah.
You ever hear Bill Clinton? Listen, hear me out for 1 minute. Bill Clinton, he's a rapist. He's a god to the Democrats. If he were going to come out and run for office, they would come out and drove them over him. Hillary Clinton, she tried to silence the rape victims, and she won the popular vote. And we're telling people not to vote for this guy?
Who said that?
30 to 40 years ago? I've heard so many pundits saying, I'm saying even if it's true.
Well, so many pundits. I'm not so many pundits.
Even if he touched this person inappropriately 30, 40 years ago, we're not condoning the action when we vote for him. We need conservatives in office. You know, we're losing this country right now.
Well, that's essentially the argument that Eric Erickson is making in defense of Roy Moore voters who may be uncomfortable or even queasy about Roy Moore based on the allegations. Eric Erickson saying, if I was an Alabama voter, I'd probably sit it out, but he understands why those supporting Roy Moore are not inclined to do so. So I'm just laying out the argument that Eric Erickson makes in defense of those who feel like they're under assault, like you're describing.
I got you, and it makes sense what I'm hearing. I didn't read the article, but I mean, what people got to understand is that politicians are schmucks. Even look at JFK. JFK was an adulterer. Everybody's going to vote for JFK if he runs again. That doesn't mean we're condoning adulterers. It means that the Democrats want the country to go in that direction. You know?
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Brian. I get it. Brian. Greg in LaGrange.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Go ahead.
You know, I just think that this is a case where a man has to defend himself, and after 40 years of somebody coming out saying this, in the court of public opinion, this is a masterstroke by the Democrats. They basically convicted the guy, and he has to prove himself innocent. And you're not innocent until proven guilty. I know the statute of limitations is run out, but I have to agree with Eric Erickson, and I don't often agree with him on certain things, but I have to agree with him. He's the firewall. This is war. And like the woman said, Republicans stand down. They just back down. Anytime they're threatening a knife fight, they back down. They don't pull out a gun. They just back down.
Thanks for
fight this one out.
Thanks for the call, Greg.
They all agree. I mean, 42 of the GOP senators have all said, if the allegations are true, then he should resign.
Right.
No one's calling for him to resign right away. That I can.
And one of the contentions about how has this not come out after 40 years? I'm not. Blaming the accusers or anything like that. But there is a legitimate question to say. It is the timing, and with the combination of the fact that Roy Moore has run for statewide office multiple times. He's been a lightning rod for a long time, and it is unusual, particularly when the entire GOP establishment was against him in the primary, including President Trump, that with the resources that have been allied against him in previous races and the current one, that if there were these rumors swirling around in the relatively small world of Alabama politics, that it took a Washington Post reporter to stumble upon women who were willing to come forward, and nobody else had done that basically opposition research to identify these alleged victims and facilitate the telling of their stories. It is strange. I'm not saying it makes what they're saying untrue, but it is unusual.
Well, Stephanie and Beth said that they were covering the special election, and that's when they heard rumors that he had dated younger women years ago, decades ago.
Well,
they went after all 4 of them, and then they got them to commit to telling their stories, but they visited them day in and day out for 2 weeks.
And one of the women, one of the teenagers of age that alleges she dated Roy Moore, is, a leftist. I mean, she had a lot of anti-Trump stuff, anti-Roy Moore stuff on her Facebook page and so on and so forth. Again, I'm not impugning the merits of her story. I'm just providing contextual information that's relevant for the conversation. Kevin in Orland Park.
Yeah, I just want to say, how come we can't get anyone younger than 70 in the Senate? It's a joke. I mean, you've been in public service 35 years. Pick up your plow and go back to wherever you came from and just retire. It's not a retirement community. I'm sick of all these people having to live in there forever.
Thanks for the call, Kevin. Actually, there was a funny SNL skit about that, the Democrats being, a bunch of octogenarians.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants. And that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
As flu season approaches, you know how to protect yourself against colds and viruses, but do you know how to protect your computer network? Ransomware, viruses, hacks, intrusions, well, it could cripple your company's computer network, stopping business in an instant. Is your network safe and protected? Can your data be restored easily? If not, you need to make an appointment with Turnkey IT. Turnkey IT provides frontline security for your network and its data. So if there's an email attachment opened in error or network intruder, Turnkey IT immediately knows and remedies the situation. They'll arm your network with cutting-edge antivirus, disaster recovery, and proactive monitoring software systems to stop virus outbreaks before they have a chance to spread. Over the phone or in person, Turnkey IT is your network safeguard against the season's worst bugs. See what a dose of Turnkey's proactive support can do for you. It's easy. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I have a $1,200 knee brace because I have bone on bone in my left knee, and I have a torn cartilage in my right knee. And since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I don't wear my brace, and I can walk without pain. It's I had these copper things I used to put on my knees. I don't use those either. I don't use anything. I think it's just wonderful.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. Order today.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do on this show. Long-form interviews are against the current series. Still got Kevin Williamson from National Review up, answering the question, is Trump still the witless ape who rode down the escalator, as he characterized him, at the outset of his candidacy? It's an interesting interview, even if it's things that you may disagree with, views you may disagree with. Also coming this week, both Dinesh D'Souza and Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North from our Freedom Fest Summit Palooza experience over the weekend, this past weekend. 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries, podcast for Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics. Follow the Logic Man on the Street interviews. And don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, where you can get a free property tax report to see how property taxes are destroying your home equity in Illinois. And also download the petition to help us get the necessary signatures to get an advisory question on the 2018 ballot that would change Illinois' property tax system to mirror our neighbor to the east, Indiana's, and give you your home equity back in so doing. All the property tax info at defendhomeowners.com, everything else at upstream-ideas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
The Lyric Opera's Turandot will transport you to ancient China at the Lyric Opera House December 5th through January 27th when a powerful princess meets a fearless prince. 3 riddles could mean life or death. So experience Puccini's passionate Turandot in a grand-scale production never before seen in Chicago. For more details and to buy tickets, visit lyricopera.org. That's lyricopera.org. And this morning, pay attention, we are giving away a pair of tickets to Turandot at the Lyric Opera to the, what caller?
6th.
6th caller, 312-642-5600. Call now to win a pair of tickets to the Lyric Opera House.
And I'm going to go see it. The Lyric Opera always produces standout performances. By the way, Turandot, Nessun Dorma. Remember Paul Potts from Britain's Got Talent? The opera singer?
Sure. I
This
do.
is one of those. This is
Absolutely.
Mike does.
Oh, sure.
Mike does.
Okay,
Mike
'cause it's a guy thing.
Mike is much more lithe, by the way, now that he's got his appendix out.
Yeah, I know.
I think that was holding him back.
He's spry. He's got a little spring in his step.
But Paul Potts, one of those videos that went viral, he's a
That's right.
cellular phone salesman before he goes on Britain's Got Talent, and now he's become an international opera star. Nessun Dorma was the song that he sang. And so go see Turandot, even if you don't win the tickets right now, because I'm going to.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
A friend of ours, former Chicago newsman Gerard McClendon, has now become a filmmaker, and he's produced a documentary on the horrific murder of his parents. We're going to talk to Gerard McClendon about that movie at 8:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom and say hello, and we're glad you're happy and safe and healthy. Here's Mike Scott.
Bouncing back 35 and fog. That is really slowing the morning commute. And west of us, DeKalb and west, very icy this morning. And it is a move that is jolting investors at the beginning of the trading day on Wall Street. General Electric announcing today it's cutting its dividend in half. GE says it's cutting quarterly payouts to 12 cents a share from 24 cents. It's effective next month. Shares for GE are down more than 35% for the year, but are rising more than 2% in pre-market trading. President Trump continues to take shots at the North Korean dictator while openly discussing the possibility of a friendship with the North.
If that did happen, it would be a good thing for, I can tell you, for North Korea. But it would also be good for lots of other places, and it would be good for the world.
The president continues his visit to East Asia. He's meeting with the Filipino president today and will continue that work in the East and then head back to Washington, D.C. by Wednesday. People who worship at the South Texas church, where more than 24 were killed last week, are finding comfort in each other and with their neighbors. They dropped off tiny wooden crosses before yesterday's service at a community center near the First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs. 2 infants are safe this morning. Chicago police say the vehicle they were sitting in was stolen on Chicago's South Side yesterday near 87th and Cottage Grove. No one hurt after a small plane makes an emergency landing in north suburban Grays Lake. And the last of 5 Wheaton College football players charged with hazing are expected to enter a not guilty plea later today. Devontae Adams' 19-yard touchdown reception from Brett Hundley clinched the Packers' 23-16 win over the Bears yesterday at Soldier Field. Bears' run game never got on track. They host the Lions next. Devils erase a 4-1 first-period deficit, pulling out a 7-5 win over the Blackhawks at the United Center. The news is a service of Walgreens. With a little help from Walgreens, diabetes won't slow you down. With caring pharmacists, medications you rely on, and testing supplies from all the major brands, where is it convenient? Where do I matter? At Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. 8:34 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee.
Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Gina Labus, President and CEO of Mid-States Glass and Metal and a customer of Signature Bank since 2011. As we expanded our business into all aspects of the glass and metal industry, we needed a bank who could grow along with us. That's when we met Mick O'Rourke, co-founder of Signature Bank. Mick and his team took the time to understand the ebbs and flows of our business. They worked with us to find a solution that would support our growth. Mid-States Glass and Metal is proud to work with Signature Bank because they support Chicagoland women-owned businesses like mine.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
For the very best in promotional products for your business.
For the latest promotional trends.
For attracting customers to your logo like a magnet.
For on-time delivery of high-quality items with your logo.
For personal service.
4imprint, the nation's leading team to unleash your logo on your choice of thousands of promotional items. And right now, you can get a coupon for 10% off your next promotional order at 4imprint by texting the word PRO to 88988.
For empowering your logo at your next trade show.
For making a lasting impression.
For rewarding employees.
For free art assistance.
For making your logo shine.
The experts at 4imprint are ready to help.
For thousands of promotional items.
For popular brands.
For exclusive items.
For your 100% satisfaction.
4imprint.
For a 10% off coupon for your next promotional order, text PRO to 88988. That's a 10% off coupon for your next promotional order by texting PRO to 88988.
It is 8:36. Let's get a check of the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy's heavy from Austin to Randall. It's an hour and 5 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 46 minutes from Montrose, 36 to the Express. Outbound 43 to the airport. Aiden's 20 minutes, Lake Hook to the junction. Outbound 33. Inbound Eisenhower. Delays start at North Avenue. It's an hour and 10-minute drive. 390 to downtown. 47 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 48, 390. Stevenson, 58 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 42. The Ryan from 95th to downtown. 29 minutes. Outbound 15. I-57. 25 minutes, I-80 to the Marriage Bishop 426. Southbound Tri-States, though, 120 to the Lake Forest Oasis, and Balmoral to the O'Hare Oasis. Northbound, the 83rd Street toll to 31st, Reagan tollway to North Avenue, and from the O'Hare Oasis to the Toohey toll. Spot Adams tollway stop and go Manheim to the Tri-State. Reagan tollway's now okay. Veterans Royal heavy. The Boughton toll most of the way to Roosevelt, and Army Trail to 290. 53 still has delays both ways approaching Kirchhoff. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Full of areas of fog this morning. Chilly start to the day. Clouds will break later today with a high topping out at 43. Tomorrow, 46. Wednesday, some rain and 51. Currently, 34 and fog officially at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Ready for a bad cold and flu season? A cold is a cold, but flu brings fever. Be prepared with the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer backed by medical professionals everywhere.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. By the way, did you see that Bears-Packers game, how empty Soldier Field was?
Yeah, it was, they offered us free tickets and go to the family room and all that, and I said, no. But I wasn't feeling well, but my kids turned down it too.
Yeah.
My neighbors, we were calling all day Saturday and Sunday to try and find people to go to the game, even up to game.
Yeah, I think it has something to do, as this song would indicate, something to do with the product on the field. But also may have something to do with the NFL generally, by the way.
Oh, yeah, but Roger Goodell thinks he's deserved of $50 million a year, and he wants a private jet for life.
Yeah, same deal I made here.
Yeah, exactly. But one good thing about yesterday, Marquise Goodwin, he plays for the 49ers. He made an 83-yard touchdown, or he caught an 83-yard touchdown pass. yesterday morning his son died. He was born prematurely, and he could not get out of the end zone. And if you guys want to cry, just watch that video because that will make you cry. And it was really beautiful how everybody picked him up and hugged him and then took him to the sidelines. And right after the game, he left to be with his family. So God bless him and his baby.
Well, turning tragedy into something positive is also what our friend Gerard McClendon is trying to do. He's a former Chicago newsman, CLTV, and now he's a filmmaker. And you'll remember the McClendon name in part because of the tragic circumstances around the death of his parents in Hammond, Indiana, after celebrating their 54th wedding anniversary. This is back in 2009. Wayman and Ruby McClendon were murdered by two teen gang members during a home invasion. Now, those gang members, unlike so many, were thankfully caught and both sentenced to, I think, like 120 years in prison. But now McClendon has made a documentary on this devastating event in his life and, frankly, the lives of the entire Chicagoland community to see a lovely couple like his parents murdered. The name of the documentary, Forgiving Cain, and it focuses on trying to forgive a murderer. The film explores questions like, can you? What is the definition of forgiveness? What is the purpose of forgiveness? What is a human being worth? Is preventing murder a priority? Doesn't seem to be in Chicago. So provocative questions, thoughtful questions, and I'm sure thoughtful reflections from Gerard McClendon, who joins us now. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Dan, thanks a bunch, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
So, to talk about a little bit of the journey from that catastrophic event in your life to putting together this documentary.
Yeah, Forgiving Cain, the impossible possibility of ending murder has been a personal journey, for our whole family. I mean, it was a devastating case of events that took place back in 2009. And it was something that hit me, man, as I'm driving home after I got the news. I was working at CLTV WGN at the time. And when I got the news, I drove home to my parents' home. And I'm on the Dan Ryan Expressway, Dan, and at 5:30 in the afternoon, there was no traffic on the Dan Ryan.
Wow.
At 5:30. Even more mysterious, when I get to 35th Street, when I get to Sox Park, the sun comes out, and this vision hit me, Dan, where it's like when you get to your parents' house, Gerard, there's going to be a crime scene, there's going to be yellow and red tape. There's going to be TV reporters, cameras. Everyone's going to be there, family. And something hit me, man. 35th Street, I'm on the expressway, and I'm talking to my producer on the phone, and something told me, forgive the perpetrators, Dan. Forgive They weren't even caught at that point. But it was something that told me, if I don't let this thing go, I would be out of my mind. And from that day forth, man, the day I found out that my parents were murdered, man, I forgave the perpetrators.
Even not knowing who they were at the time?
Absolutely. We found out their charges were brought on the day of the funeral. So like 6 or 7 days later, charges were brought.
Well, what were they? What was their? I mean, obviously, there's no ever a reason to kill, but why couldn't they have just? I mean, it makes no sense. What did they try and take? Just explain. Take us back to that time and what happened.
Oh, it's ridiculous. So evidently, these two, they're very young. I mean, 17 and 18 at the time. I think one of the young men knew my parents. And I guess they thought my parents had something, or, yes, my dad drove a Cadillac, and, they had a few nice things. But it was the kind of thing where my parents would have given them the $70 that they stole. They took some jewelry. They took my parents' car for a joyride. My parents were giving people. Everybody in East Hammond, Indiana knew that. And for these young men to do that, it was just tragic.
Have you ever confronted them? Did you make any statements during the sentencing hearing?
Yes, we did. The family did make our statements, and I wrote like a 2.5 to 3 minute statement talking directly to the perpetrators, and just expressing discontent and disappointment and anger. But in the courtroom, I still forgave them.
Did they apologize to you?
It's just sad. It's just sad. Two young black men. They got ABK tattoos like a week before they killed my parents. ABK, anybody killer. One of the young men was supposed to be going, I think, to Purdue University that fall. I guess chose not to, and hooks up with his buddy, and they decide to rob two elderly people. Really? Really? 120 years sentence?
Did they
really?
ask for your forgiveness or mercy before, during the sentencing?
I'm sorry?
Did they ask for your forgiveness or just say, I'm so sorry?
They expressed, sorrow and, but
remorse?
In the courtroom, it's just, you're kind of numb to that. Mm-hmm. And it just didn't really seem sincere. But, it didn't make a difference to me one way or the other. I mean, I was going to forgive them regardless.
Take us through the film. Again, it's Forgiving Cain, this documentary that you've put together. And I mentioned at the outset some of the issues it raises. How do you try and tackle these issues so that, to obviously try and advance the notion of getting along with one another, particularly in major urban centers like Chicago, of staying away from gangs and drugs and the violence that's attendant, so that another young man like yourself doesn't have to lose his parents in that way?
Absolutely. We interviewed 22 families who lost a loved one to gun violence. About 20 out of the 22 families forgave the perpetrator. There were one or two families that still haven't come to grips with forgiving the killers of their loved ones. We've also interviewed, philosophy classics professors, psychology professors to find out what is the core, what is the nucleus of someone forgiving someone. And we're finding that for some people it's religious, others it's spiritual, for others it's I gotta let this go or else it'll eat me alive. I mean, so everybody has different reasons for forgiving, and I think everybody has different time periods as well. For me, it was immediate. For others, it may take 10, 20 years. It may take a lifetime.
What about the addressing the issue of Chicago violence? I know that you pore over the statistics and try and convey them in human terms, which is what needs to happen. But some of what comes from the film in terms of what can be done to quell the incidents of violent crime in Chicago.
It's a perfect storm. I mean, you got guns coming in from Indiana. You have stolen guns on the street. Guns get passed around. People sell contraband, or people want to control territory. They shoot people. We've seen probably a decrease in drug sales in urban communities because of legalization. And so what's happening is a lot of people can't sell drugs on the street anymore. So you're seeing what? More carjackings in the news lately. You're seeing more crash and grabs lately. And generally a person is brandishing a firearm.
Wow. Why is your documentary called Forgiving Cain?
Yes.
Because the perpetrators are Thompson and Brooks, so I was just curious.
Cain and Abel, perhaps?
Cain and Abel.
That's correct. Forgiving Cain, of course, the biblical reference to Cain killing Abel. And even though a person may have a cold and dark heart, there's still a realm of forgiveness that has to take place so we can continue to advance civilization. It's one thing to say, okay, I want revenge. It's another thing to say, you know what, I'm going to forgive and let's heal. Now, I think sometimes what people do is they mistake forgiveness for an act of weakness. And it's not weakness at all. So, well, how can you forgive these guys? You don't want these guys to go to prison? Of course I want them to go to prison. The justice system dealt with the two young men. God will also deal with the two young men. So they they already have two forces against them. I don't need to be against them as the third. I just need to forgive so I can live my own life. That's why I have to forgive Cain.
So how can people see this documentary, Forgiving Cain?
So we're editing and we're in post-production now. We're in our fundraising campaign at forgivingcain.com. It'll be on PBS in the spring of 2018, and when it launches, we'll make sure that the world knows, and then we'll try to get people to forgive something as large as murder and to forgive something as small as someone taking your milk money when you were 7 years old. You know, that's the thing. It seems like it's easier for people to forgive bigger things than it is for smaller things. People like to hold grudges. People haven't spoken to someone in 30 years. You know, that stuff is ridiculous, and it only eats us up inside. And so that's what the film focuses on. You know, we have to forgive our fellow man, our fellow woman, and we have to live our lives as well as we have to let others live theirs.
He is Gerard McClendon. He a former TV newsman, a TV producer, now filmmaker. The movie Forgiving Cain, forgivingcain.com documentary that's forthcoming in the spring of next year. But you can get more information and provide support for its distribution at forgivingcain.com. Gerard, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck with the film. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Take care now.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The IRS doesn't mess around. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. If you owe back taxes, call Optima Tax Relief. Optima has access to a special IRS program called the Fresh Start Initiative, and their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. Optima is A-rated with the Better Business Bureau. Don't delay. Call now for your free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Liberty Mutual presents worry-free music moments. Switching to Liberty Mutual could save you $782 on the perfect home and auto insurance for your needs, so you can feel good about the family budget and the massage you're about to treat yourself to.
This is awesome.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide survey of new customers. Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I have been on these supplements from Balance of Nature for a couple of years now. And prior to that, I used other supplements. They did nothing for me. This has been absolutely wonderful. I have never felt so good, and I have felt so much better health-wise. My cholesterol's down. All my numbers are down, and it's been great. So I highly recommend Balance of Nature.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Balance of Nature. Order today.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gevalis, Joshi, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
Need a CPAP?
Then we need you. We're CPAP.com, and we carry popular brands of CPAP equipment, including ResMed, Respironics, and more. To move inventory, we're selling some of our ResMed CPAP machines at prices lower than you would think. Call now to learn more about these affordable ResMed CPAPs. We'll even provide free shipping on your ResMed machine order so you'll get it fast. Call 1-800-700-3181. The best part? No insurance needed. Our CPAPs are priced so low they can even cost less than your copay and deductible through insurance. CPAP.com has shipped over 1 million orders and carries a large inventory of sleep apnea equipment. With little retail overhead and no middlemen, we're the best way to get comfortable, effective sleep apnea equipment at incredibly low prices. Again, CPAP.com has a large inventory of ResMed CPAPs and is offering free shipping on these devices. Call now for these great deals and others. Call 1-800-700-3181. If lines are busy, please try again. That's 1-800-700-3181.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with a 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
Check out GalloLiquidators.com, DuPage County's online auction destination. GalloLiquidators.com. That's Gallo Liquidators.com. Gallo reprocesses store returns, closeouts, and shelf pulls, then lists them online starting at just $1. Auctions begin every Thursday, featuring a constantly changing variety of merchandise, tools, antiques, electronics, housewares, and much, much more. GalloLiquidators.com. It's an easy-to-use online platform featuring store returns from some of the nation's largest retailers at a fraction of the price to you, the customer. Pickup location is just blocks from downtown St. Charles. Families love coming in every weekend to pick up their auction winnings. Gallo also accepts all types of consignments. Nationwide shipping is now available. Don't miss out. Visit GalloLiquidators.com, DuPage County's online auction destination. That's GalloLiquidators.com. GALLO Liquidators.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-700-1368. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-700-1368. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-700-1368. 1-800-700-1368.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, here's a cautionary tale for Lakeview stray cat hoarders, not naming any names.
Hey, they need me.
Listen up, Amy.
I got a water heater for them over the weekend, yes.
Japanese police probe into the attempted murder of an elderly bedridden woman has reportedly led to an unlikely suspect. Mayuko Matsumoto's daughter found her bleeding profusely from about 20 cuts to her face at her home in the mountainous region of southern Japan. I mean, the only difference here, you got an elderly woman. You got police launched an attempted murder investigation after seeing the wounds, and what they discovered, their leading suspect, a stray cat.
Well, okay, that's
under house arrest right now. being
Seriously?
interrogated.
Oh, the cat gouged what he started with the eyes and then
20 cuts to her face.
Well, she should have had the feeder out for him.
Oh, really? You're
He would-
defending an attempted murder by a stray cat.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, okay.
Well, they have to take the DNA from the cut marks to see if it's the cat's claws or
Mhm.
somebody else's.
Yeah, rallying to the defense of the stray cat in Japan. We'll see how you like it when you're discovered by Peyton and Eli.
When my stray cats eat me. Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks, Dan, for gracing us with your presence.